QAM AM Miami, an Odyssey sports station. The home of champions, home of the five-time national champion Miami Hurricanes, the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, the three-time NBA champion Miami Heat, Miami Hurricanes basketball, and now the new home of the two-time World Series winner Miami Marlins.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Doral Volkswagen, home of the price Cito. Our lowest price. Visit us, Doral Volkswagen or DoralVolkswagen.com. Sandy Alcantara gave up 5 2/3 innings of 5-run baseball, but it was enough as the Marlins down the Rockies 10-7. The two played tonight. 8:40. Yuri Perez gets the start. Panthers traded a 2028 third-round pick for Vegas Golden Knights goaltender Akira Schmid. They also sent A.J. Greer to the Anaheim Ducks to bring back Radko Gudas. On to weather. It's brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season is coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimate today. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Temperatures about 90 degrees here in South Florida. Not really a chance of rain. I am Dan Day. Now it's time for the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
Hey, welcome back and good morning. Happy Tuesday to everybody out there. I will tell you, usually we used to say, well, we're not supposed to say this in sports, but it's a little bit of a slow time at the end of June, into July, and that's a time when it's just baseball, and if baseball's not going well, you start looking ahead to the football, which, by the way, everybody does year-round anyway, college and pro football. But, man, we got a lot of stuff, plenty of news and stuff to get to here this morning. All day, Dan Day in with us. Jamie didn't make it. I think he said he has the flu. My gut feeling is, Dave Hyde, who's with us, is that he stayed up late and watched that 10-7 baseball game. Marlins win again, 40, as you just heard all day Dan Day talking about, 45-40 on the season. Conine had a nice pinch hit, 3-run homer after they walked Stowers to get to him. Otto Lopez had 2 more hits and a home run last night. Javier Sanoja might be one of the most valuable guys on this team. Plays third base. I don't think when this thing started and we were talking about who's going to play third base and had a couple guys going, I don't think they thought he was going to play third base as much as he has. That was just my gut feeling. And he had to play some right field last night as well. Crazy.
The whole season has been sort of smaller names stepping into bigger roles like that. So,
yeah.
You know he was a good player, but he's more like a utility.
No, he's a utility guy.
But you're right. And then how about Griffin Conine coming back? That's a great
nice story.
You know, it was.
You're wondering how he's going to fit in. You go down.
Right.
He's been frustrated. Sure, his father's been frustrated
he got hurt.
watching.
I mean,
he
got
injured.
Injury. You know, just as he was playing well, and so it's great that they're down 5-2, come back. And it was one you were talking about yesterday, a Colorado game, 10-7, a lot of hits.
Nothing's ever safe in that park. Fly balls become long home runs, man.
Yeah, but 5 games above 500.
No, and by the way, now in the third wild card playoff spot, tied with a couple of teams. That's a nice story. And I watch MLB Network, and they're starting to get a lot of MLB love because Alcantara's now 6-0 this month.
And he didn't even, he didn't have a good game yesterday.
No,
I mean, but a lot of guys don't have good games.
There's not a lot of good ERAs for anybody who pitches in that ballpark.
But here's the question with the Marlins is going to be, with the trade deadline on the horizon, they're now buyers. I talked to Bruce Sherman before the season, and he said, "Everybody says I won't spend. If I think we can win, I will spend money."
Listen, he's going to get called out on this one because he's got a good team. I don't think they're going away. They got a shortstop. Yeah, they got too many guys.
Look like they're yes. They're even down some guys.
Yeah.
Like
Hicks is going to be coming back.
Liam Hicks is out. I mean, everybody has some injuries, but the point is, it's going to be interesting what they do going into the trade deadline because I think they're buyers.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. By the way, a lot of news for the Heat and the Panthers this morning as well. The Panthers got one of the old popular guys, and he was fun to be around. Radko Gudas is going to be back. He left because of money, And defenseman is back. They've got him, and everybody was fired up. My phone actually rang. Somebody in the organization said they're really excited about having that is one of their all-time favorite guys.
And now they traded a
AJ
great
Greer.
guy, great guy, and a great talker from a coverage standpoint. But
he got too good. He got too expensive.
He was very good. He had a great year. That's what the Panthers are now getting, guys, 1-2 year who want to rejuvenate their careers,
right?
But Radko Gudas is a fighter too, and you look at all the guys they're getting. Brady Tkachuk.
Brady didn't back down.
The fourth line guy they got, and so one of the national guys said, they're probably going to get Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson, with a few of the Panthers, are considered the great fighters in the league.
Yeah,
because who are they going to? They weren't pushed around by Tampa Bay, but they realized, okay, Tampa Bay wants to fight. Okay,
Tampa Bay got a little ugly with them last year, starting before the season started. They brought up all the thugs,
and they have 2 preseason games with Tampa Bay. Not that you're going to have your starters fight, or you don't want them to fight in preseason. But if anybody wants to start pushing around, the Panthers have never feared going down a back alley, and now, boy, even more so.
Well, you got that. Akira Schmid, Las Vegas goalie, is now with the Panthers, but they're saying he's a backup. They still need a number one guy there, Dave Hyde, and so we'll see. They're talking about probably gonna have to let some other guys move some money around so they can get this deal done to find out. But it doesn't look like they're gonna pay a lot of money for starting goalie. Doesn't look like it.
The question:
How much
here's the question.
Can you go $7 or $8 million on a goalie?
Well, they had $7 million. I don't know how much. I have to look what they're paying this guy to be backup, but they had $7 million. Now, Connor Hellebuyck hasn't been traded. He's talking with Buffalo, or Winnipeg's talking with Buffalo. I'm sure Bill Zito's on the line seeing and so the question is, what does Winnipeg want in return?
Yeah.
And what will the Panthers give? Winnipeg's probably saying, give us Anton Lundell, and I don't
think they want to do that.
They don't want to do that, but they need a goalie.
Yeah.
So it'll whatever. Zito will make the right move, because he always makes the right move, but it's the question, what is the right move here?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, that guy is you want to go to the casino right now with Bill Zito since he's been here.
I was thinking, Joe, we're getting the 2 best franchises in town, best run over recent years.
Yeah.
You're getting a class on how to go about their work. The Heat, you've seen they got Giannis, and now they're trying to make it work. And the Panthers, they've been gold over recent years, and they're still going.
Well, the Panthers are in a really good situation, man. Just getting everybody healthy. Best thing probably, Dave, that extra month and a half off. I mean, listen, I want to go deep in the playoffs every year. I'm a pig like every other fan, but they had to get some guys healthy, and we got all those guys. Looks like everybody's going to be ready to go once this thing starts back up. And I'm curious to see how Paul Maurice runs camp, because he's run some hard camps.
He's typically he runs 5 hard days. And and says this is the standard, and then he backs off. But there's none of that. It's old school for 5 days where guys are broken. Here's what I'm curious. Brad Marchand at the end of last year, you talk about deep playoff run. He said, "I'd rather not make the playoffs than lose in the finals."
That's a common line.
Yeah, but
it's crushing to lose, man. I had 2 Super Bowls and had the lead at halftime against the Redskins. At the time, Washington Redskins, and that was those are crushing.
There's no value to you in having played in a Super Bowl, and no. It
how many guys go around? You think it's fun to go around this town and go have played in 2 losing Super Bowls, and man, people laugh. They don't. You go around. Think about it, Dave. And people are listening. Got up early this morning. I played in the last 2 Super Bowls, 17 and 19.
You're on 2 Super Bowl teams.
And we lost both games, and we had the lead at halftime. Fulton Walker returned one right before the half. We had the lead out in L.A. And then the Montana Marino thing, but we lost both games. Nobody's talking about those. I mean, it goes back to undefeated teams, and once that thing was set, to me, when I got here, because it was a lot of the same guys, can you imagine, like, anybody's going to say anything? Hell, we had some of those guys from the undefeated team still on my team in 83. And what are you going to tell Bob Kuchenberg, who was on the undefeated team? Hey, Bob, hey, we got here, Bob. He goes, shut up. We lost. Might as well not even been in it.
Yeah,
that's what everybody used to say.
But from a fan's perspective, you made a deep run.
And by the way, some great games.
It was a great.
The Marino game against the Steelers, just lighting it up. One of the great. I mean, he was just.
But to your point, I'm halfway through a book on Shula. I don't know that I got to decide what to do with it. But one of the people I talked to said they saw him cry twice, and one was after I can't remember. I think it was the 85 Super Bowl loss. And, so that the pain, to your point, the pain that
we were
felt.
outmatched against San Francisco. We just were. They were as loaded. I know it's about Joe Montana, but they were probably better on defense than their offense. If you go back, they had like 7 Pro Bowl players. The defensive player of the year was a defensive lineman. I forgot his name, but they had their whole secondary was Pro Bowlers. They had linebacker, Turner at line. They were loaded. They were loaded. One great defensive tackles inside. They had a great pass rusher on. They had a really good team, and then they're off. And we were beat up. The Killer Bees were really banged up because after that game, like all those guys had major surgeries. Back then, everybody was playing, but those guys were playing it. They weren't the Killer Bees. And so all those guys are hurt. So going into that game, and we're not stupid, it was like, Danny, we need to score. We need a shootout, which we could do, except they're really good. So that didn't happen. We did the hurry up offense to start and went down and scored early, which was really good. The game that really bothers me is David wasn't very good. David Woodley in the first half, even though we had the lead, we didn't do much. And usually, again, it's a great second guess and one of the greatest ones in the history of our franchise. Usually, Don Shula throughout that year put Don Strock in, and we won a lot of those games, or at least came back. Like that Chargers game, remember the year before? Right. Before
Woodstock, that was the whole
Woodstock thing. And I think to a man privately, everybody was like, how do you not? And I get we had the lead at half, but we weren't doing much offensively. Like that's Don Strock time. Don Strock, that was when he was at his best. He was the best backup quarterback in the business. He had done it. He pulled us out of crap holes all the time, and he didn't put them in. And we it was back and forth till the end of the game, and the long run down the sideline, and we couldn't score, and he never put them in. And that wasn't Woodley's thing. If he didn't get off to a good start, probably wasn't great for his confidence looking back on it as his roommate. But yeah. So you lose those to that whole thing, but I don't go, only reason I even bring it up is because everybody's talking about we haven't won a playoff game. I said playoff game.
All right, but the Heat
we haven't been to a Super Bowl, and by the way, we lost them. So
the Heat go to 2 NBA finals.
Yes. Nobody talks about those. Nobody talks about the 2 they won, not getting there 4 times. No. That's just a little added. It is nice. They got there 4 years in a row. Okay. Panthers got there 3 years in a row, but they're only talking about the 2 they won.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. It's weird. I know how I feel.
No, you feel the way.
And man, it was my locker room because I'm telling you.
You feel the way everybody feels that I talked to on that team. And as an outsider, someone who didn't have that feeling, my thought and writing about it is, unless you're a favorite to win or something like that, that's a good year. Losing in the Super Bowl, that's a good year. I mean, you would look at the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game in 25 years.
But you tell the Buffalo Bills who lost 4 in a row.
Repetitive losing.
But they were an unbelievable team. They beat the hell out of us, and we had those games again.
And you know what? They should have won a couple of those games, right? I mean, if they
field goal in Tampa Bay. Right. Against the Giants.
We talk about the Tom Brady winning all these Super Bowls. He had a good. He was great. He's the greatest.
Oh, he had some lady luck that Seattle game.
Adam Vinatieri making field goals and the defensive stop.
That's part of it. Yeah. It's an interesting one. And the only reason I don't go around telling everybody I don't show my rings. My kids asked me the other day, hey, somebody heard like, hey, Joe, I forgot that Joe said something about being in the last Super Bowl, and on those teams for the last two, it's 17 and 19, Super Bowl 17 and 19, both in California. And he goes, yeah. And then he'll go, my kids asked me maybe a month ago, did you get a ring for that?
They've never seen it.
No, because I put them away because I just,
You don't want to be reminded. Or,
no, I don't
it
want to
doesn't
look
mean
at it.
anything.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then literally like a month ago, my wife goes, the kids want to see him. Why don't you at least get them so they can see what they look like? Because they were looking them up to see what we call them loser rings.
Yeah.
Which really sucks too when you call something a loser ring.
I mean,
you're the best team in AFC, but it's a loser ring.
That's my point, that it was a good year.
How do you think
Edmonton
Edmonton feels with the best player in hockey? You think he's going around showing them that ring they give them
I get it.
for losing it?
Yeah.
He probably told them, don't make it this year. We don't want. I've had enough of these. I'm tired of it. Anyway, it's an interesting one to talk about. And yes, now that you look back and you're going, because we did win a lot of playoff games, especially at the Orange Bowl, to your point, and we can't win a friggin' playoff game. And I'm still amazed here in my late 60s, that I'm sitting here and we haven't won a playoff game. And I don't know. We can't even keep track. Some say 25, some say 26.
Because it matches the year. It's 26 now.
Okay.
2026. They did it's all a mathematical favor by.
And the sad part of this, we sit back and we've all laughed about how bad Cleveland is and Detroit and all the teams that were bad for a long time. And I'm like, what are we saying anything about anybody down here? We shouldn't be saying that. We shouldn't be saying anything about anybody. And I see we're getting blasted again about how bad we are and all the stupid stuff we've done. We have. I mean, we deserve it. All the stuff that comes. I mean, you got to move on and get ready for the next year and all that. But yeah, it's a rough one. Hey, we got to go to break here, Dave. We got going on that one, man. That was an interesting. I wasn't expecting you to hit me with that. We've got Andrew Wiggins news when we come back. We haven't even gotten to. We'll talk about a couple of moves. Ja Morant finally got moved, and he is happy. He said, man, I am so glad to get out of Memphis. We'll talk about that coming up. At first, I want to talk about mental health. My mental health through sports is good, though. I know it sounds a little down, but I'm good right now. I do want to talk about your mental health right now. Hey, last month was Mental Health Month in the month of May. We're getting ready to jump into July. Listen, mental health is something serious for guys, for everybody out there. And if you're off the road, you've lost your job, something's happened in your life, wife left, whatever it could. I mean, things go on every day, man. Life is a roller coaster. Sometimes when you get knocked off that roller coaster and have trouble getting back on it, especially by yourself, your friends sometimes have helped you out, but this time it's a little more serious with mental health, depression, anxiety, and everything else. Maybe you need a little recovery unplugged. Oh, Dr. Barry would love to help you. He and his staff are fantastic. Dr. Barry's been through it himself. One of the more special guys you'll ever be around. The program they have put together in Fort Lauderdale is fantastic. Recovery Unplugged's mental health residential program in Fort Lauderdale is your private sanctuary to reset. Dr. Barry and the team blend expert care with music-based healing in a beautiful, comfortable space, private. They got just going through it for a couple hours here about a month ago to see it. It's fantastic, man. It just it makes sense for you to get great results and get back to the way you used to be. They accept most major insurance plans. Call 954-737-4508 or visit recoveryunplugged.com. Let's heal out loud now, even in June.
560 WQAM conducts content.
Twin Peaks. Good morning. Still seeing a nice commute across the board. A slight delay in Broward County on I-95 southbound. At Allendale Beach Boulevard, we have an accident under investigation. The right lane's blocked, a little bit heavy as you're passing Pembroke Road, so certainly stick to the left lanes. Heading into Miami, increasing volume through the Golden Glades, especially on the Turnpike southbound approaching I-95. Still smooth sailing into downtown, lightly traveled on the Dolphin and the Palmetto. Twin Peaks is unmatched for every match with 29-degree drafts for Michelob Ultra, handcrafted Casamigos margaritas, a scratch-made menu, and screens that put you in the front row every game. It's all going down at the Lodge. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views. I'm Amy, and that's traffic on FM 104.3, and you can also listen to WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Cool ways to listen to us.
Okay, I'd like to hear them then.
On FM 104.3 or on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Same great shows, same great games.
Plus, you can use the rewind feature and listen to anything you missed.
Go for it.
All right, welcome back, and good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. Dave Hyde is in with us this morning. I got to start before we get into all the sports stuff that's going on, and there is plenty. NHL, NBA, World Cup shootouts, and everything else. We'll get into all that. Marlins get another win, 19-6 in June. I did not make that up. 19-6 in the month of June. We're still in June too.
They'll be favored to go 20-6.
Hey man, I told you it's time to get the bats going.
You did, Colorado, and wow, what a game!
There's guys, fly balls, routine fly balls become home runs out there in that Mile High area. Hey, congratulations to Dave Hyde. He's known for a month, but it's just coming out. He was named Sports Writer of the Year in the state of Florida, man. Congratulations.
Life's funny, Joe. Today is my last official day at the Sun Sentinel, and I get the plaque in the mail for Sports Writer of the Year.
You cannot effing make this up, and I'm not saying the F word, but you cannot make this up.
It's very a weird combo there,
but it's nice. I mean, it is nice, and you know, again, just like, what's the Sun Sentinel say to you? Like, hey,
you know what they say? Hey, can you return the equipment?
That's right. Can you drop everything off? You still haven't turned it in, and the company would like to know when you're going to bring it back. You know, it's like at NBC, the last day for people, or when they let people go, they had security walk them out the door. Is that common? Do they do that everywhere?
They don't have to do that because I was never in the building.
Oh,
you know, we worked at home or to practice, or I never go in the building anymore.
So you used to see somebody get walked out, and they tell them, you know, this is the time you have to clean out your desk, and the guy'd stand there while you're cleaning out your desk.
How shaming! It's walking
and everybody, and so the NBC studios got all the writers and directors and the talent and all the people behind the scenes, and everybody's kind of watching as you're in your coat and tie and you're walking out the door. And I said, they're never going to get me that way, man. That is not going to happen, man. That will not happen. Anyway, we've got Andrew Wiggins news as well. We're trying to figure this out. So he surprised me a little bit. So he opted in. He was going to get that $30 million. And then he goes, but I do want to stay here, and I'll take that 2-year extension for less money. So I think the whole package is, $64 million to play the option year plus 2 more.
Yeah, I think the hope was he would redo the whole deal so they get more salary.
Yeah.
You know, knock it down to 20 over.
He goes, I'm not going that far.
Yeah.
I am loyal to you, but I'm not doing it that way. It's still about my money, and I'm getting that $30 million. It'll be last time I get it, but I'm going to take that $30 million. I did see Ira said, but could still be part of a trade with the way that thing's structured.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. There's so many possibilities here. I have no idea what but let's start here. Andrew Wiggins is almost the perfect guy as a complementary player. He shot 41% from threes last year. He's a good defensive player.
That's a nice way to put it. He's a nice complementary player.
Now, do you want to pay that much for a nice complementary
He is a really
player?
good, solid player.
Yeah.
He is.
No, he's
not a good year. I had no problem with him. Actually, the 2 guys they got from Golden State ended up both being your guard's probably going to start and probably played better than anybody thought he was going to. And Wiggins was Wiggins. He was the guy I saw play when Golden State was really good.
If you wanted him to be a star, the question was, could he step up and be he's not a carry the team star, but he's a great complementary
to those
player.
stars.
Yes.
To those
and
stars.
that's what the Heat need right now. So the question becomes, do you want to pay $30 million a year?
Yeah.
And that's for the big boys in the Heat office to figure out options.
I'm curious because Anthony Simons is out there, Timmy Hardaway's out there, and everybody's saying, well, Simons, everybody wants him. There's going to be a bunch of teams interested in him. I think he averaged like 15 points with the Bulls and then got traded to Celtics and
had
a
LeBron
nice.
Out there? Is LeBron out there?
Well, this thing's picking
know.
up on the Golden State thing, but they do this with Golden State all the time. They want to put the old team together that everybody's going to want to go see, because if you put Steph Curry and LeBron and somehow
you're still not going to get past Oklahoma City. And
No, I agree. You can go old, and how are you going to play him to get there?
You can't.
You got to go through 82 games, and Anthony Glass Davis is going to have trouble more than anybody out there to stay.
And they
can't stay healthy.
They just signed Porzingis 2 years.
There's another guy.
And another guy. Right, exactly.
He's not exactly he knows how to spell injury.
I think Porzingis spells injury in there somewhere.
yeah. He didn't put that in his name. There's a few guys, man.
But what were the Heat? This is what I say. We're having two master classes of great organizations in the past week, making big moves, and now figuring out what to do. Now, for Bill Zito, the goalies equally big moves as trading for Brady Tkachuk because of the importance of the game. For the Heat, how much can they fill around Giannis and Bam right now?
Yeah, it's So the thing with the Panthers, they just got to fill out the back end of this roster. And obviously the most important position is the number one goalie. I'm not that is very important. We saw it with Big Bob and how good Big Bob was. By the way, I'm curious to see what's going to happen to him.
Yeah. He obviously look.
You think he's got something else out there?
He must. An agent, you don't ask for big money unless and hold out for it. When you have a great situation here, a great team, a great situation here, unless you think there's a big payday out there, right? I mean,
well, they were hoping, as you know, after his 8-year contract, if I'm not mistaken, that he is like, all right, it's been a nice run, but I'm 38. I think I want to finish it here, though. Let's go 40 or 50 cents on the dollar. And he's not. He's going the other way.
No, yeah, he was getting paid $10 million. I believe that's right. And yeah, he wants more. And the question always in sports, if you're the GM, am I paying for what you did or what you will do? And that's a hard thing for a goalie, 38.
100%. And by the way, the Panthers are going to see some guys at the end of their contracts. They're not very good. There are going to be some guys. They had to sign less money but longer contracts on some of these guys. And Bill Zito's not stupid, even though these guys all have a lot of pride. There are going to be some guys that aren't going to look as good. That's why they are trying to win right friggin' now, why they got this core together. I mean, the Tkachuk move was not made to – I mean, it wasn't because they wanted to put the family together. He's really good, and he adds another piece that fits in with their system.
But the other thing, Joe, I mean, Zito's about 10 steps ahead of anything we can think, and he made the Tkachuk move knowing he needs a goalie.
Yeah.
So he must – what is the plan? They traded a lot of draft picks, and it's like, what draft capital they trade?
You go to parties all the time, and I do, and I've got my brother-in-laws are huge. I always go to my brother-in-laws because they're huge fans. God bless guys like him. They're passionate. I mean, they call me during games, and when they're drinking, they text me more, and you hear this one a lot. What the hell are we doing? Yeah. What was that? Right. Can they be that stupid? Why are we, and you step back and they don't want to hear it, but like, listen, man. And I get it when the Dolphins. I
was going to say, it depends on the organization.
It's more than fair, and the Dolphins deserve to have people say that. But you hear like, well, what's right? What are they doing? They just gave up their whole team. Like, they have a game plan. You got to trust them that their resume they're telling you they know what they're doing. They got their first piece they needed, which was the franchise guy, and they can do the other stuff. They've looked at what they have, and we're able to get rid of it and get a big piece, and again go around. Bill Zito gets that same. He's at that point.
He's earned all benefit.
Like,
of
what's
the doubt.
Zito doing?
Yeah.
I got a guy at the tennis courts going, Bill Zito just doing on this veteran thing, man. He's got to keep some of these young guys.
No.
And I go, no, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's trying to win right now. Fan base says, hey, come on back. This thing is built for you guys to watch another championship run. Good for business. No, great for business. And I trust Bill Zito that he's got a game plan on a goalie with that system they have in front of that goalie to allow him to have a lot of success here.
And you don't think a goalie would want to play here? I mean, talk about a destination between playing in Buffalo or Winnipeg or wherever.
The best defensemen, the guys they have. Nights where you get
great
18,
system,
19
great coach.
shots at you, and most of them.
And look at the core of the team. They're great pros, from Barkov in the first line, Marchand on the third line, everybody, all 9 of the players on the top 3 lines. So, but I'm just curious, just like I am curious with the Heat. What are they going to do? When people would question in recent years, Pat Riley's lost it. He didn't get fill in the blank Bradley Beal or Dame Lillard or. There's only so many guys you can get in basketball that make a difference.
That's true.
And
I will say this, you got to get the right guys because you don't want them to destroy the team. And I know these guys are aware of that. But the other thing is, for some of these guys, and I get it, take the money. But I said this yesterday, a lot of guys are taking money, gone to really bad places and wanted out, didn't play well, got the big checks. They still cash nicely in every city. But you get booed while you're going. And people, when you walk by, go, God, did we get taken the cleaners on this guy? And that bothers those guys.
Everybody wants 2 things. They want money first.
And they want to be on a good team.
And then they want to win. But money is the
sometimes
first
it doesn't work that way, though.
Right.
Has for some guys, though. Hey, Dave, we got to go to break, get all caught up here. By the way, I got caught last night. My son said, are you watching this Phil Mickelson stuff? I said, it's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
I mean, we've had some strange ones. We went through the Sorsby, gambling addiction. We've had the Tiger. Listen, we lived the Tiger thing together and got up there and did that press conference with his mom sitting in the front and all these things when you had to come clean on, your addiction. But this Phil Mickelson thing.
He's withdrawn from all major championships this year.
I got to be honest. I thought it had to do with his wife, Amy, who's had health problems in the past, beat cancer. And as hey, man, everybody kind of really, rallied around their family and Phil. But Phil's got some demons, man. He's got big demons. I'm looking at both my shoulders. He's got some big boys on both left and right. All day Danday and I had a couple of those, right? Those are big demons, man.
Tiger and Phil could do a therapy podcast, It'd be the best, most listened to.
Can you imagine them having a few drinks and going back? Well, maybe they can have a few drinks, but sit there and have a couple of glasses of water, or maybe caffeine. Can they still do caffeine? And just go, hey, I can top that one, Tiger. How about what? No! Oh, you did that? Well, wait until you hear what I did one night when my
mental health podcasts are all the rage now too. It would be. I would listen to it.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
Phil and Tiger, Netflix, 4-part.
There is a Martina and Chris Evert, not obviously in the same vein, but
there was no love affair for a long time.
There's a Netflix series out. Believe it's on Netflix about them. That's fascinating.
Well, they're good. I watch Tennis Channel and the shows when they're together because doing the stuff. But I got to tell you, for a long time, one had one lifestyle and one had the other.
They're the exact
cutie
opposites. But talk about, Chris just announced that she has cancer again.
Yeah.
So, but, so wish all the switch back. Why couldn't Phil and Tiger at some point down the line? Why couldn't they? Because they don't want to revisit all their.
By the way, that was a good book that was written by the guy that's really all over this stuff with Phil and Tiger.
Adam Shipnuck.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
And he had great stuff because I always wonder what their relationship was because you were there was a time, not everybody, but you were a Phil guy or you were a Tiger guy. Not everybody loved Tiger.
What were you?
Oh, Tiger, 100%.
Yeah, I was 100% Tiger.
I was reading through Phil that there was a little.
Yeah, there's a little fake.
I like the guy
fake.
spit on the golf course a little bit when he was going down and didn't talk to the guy and was out to beat your brains in. That was my guy.
Yep.
Not the guy who was doing that wave to everybody with the Ford commercials. Hey, man, we got more stuff. We're looking for, speaking of trucks, I want to tell you about Chevy trucks for just a second this morning. Boy, I tell you what, you need a truck right now for Florida lifestyle here in South Florida. I got to tell you, check out the Chevy Colorado. Oh, my gosh, man. It's got everything from capabilities to comfortable. Just got it all for you. Colorado custom to the ZR2. You got a truck perfect for you. Just a good old truck that does a little bit of everything. Now, let's get into the Chevy Silverado, fam. That's a whole different ballgame. Like they've custom made a truck perfect for you with the Trail Boss to the Silverado EV with 10 models and 4 powerful engine choices. Silverado delivers an impressive balance of strength, dependability, and efficiency. Boy, I'll tell you what, hardworking trucks, we got them for you. The Chevy Silverado HD, plenty of style, plenty of power for any kind of job. Or let's go to the big boy, the Chevy Silverado HD High Country. So for the best of your Florida lifestyle, whether it's a full-time working truck, still needs to get the kids around and enjoyment on the weekends, we got one for you. Visit your local South Florida Chevy dealers today. Take a test drive, sit down and get a great deal. Together, let's drive.
The Joe Rose Show is presented by Loctite.
blocking the exit ramp to Hallandale Beach Boulevard. If you're on the Turnpike northbound on the exit ramp to Commercial, stalled vehicle has a center lane blocked on the ramp. I'm Amy, and that's traffic on FM 104.3. And you can also listen to WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
This traffic report is brought to you by the Casino at Dania Beach, your home for watching the world's biggest soccer tournament live at Sunrise Stage. Watch the world's biggest soccer tournament live at Sunrise Stage at the Casino at Dania Beach. Enjoy every match, food and drink specials, free parking, and don't miss spins on 305 July 11th. Experience the excitement all summer long at the Casino at Dania Beach.
Hey, welcome back here. Run a little bit late like we usually do, but what the hell, man? We got a lot of stuff going on. I thought last night was really cool. World Cup. I don't know how many people had a chance to watch a little shootout there, Paraguay and Germany. Germany getting knocked out, kind of a big upset. But watching the pressure of those penalty kicks after playing forever and guys wiped out, and each team gets the 5 kicks, and then they had to go extra, and a guy completely misses
6. Yeah, you're talking about depth,
right.
But it happened in Morocco and Netherlands late game, another penalty, and it's like,
well, how about going home? I was thinking those guys are one of the favorites to win it all. Germany's considered to be one of the best teams in the world, and you know how important in Germany soccer is.
I think they're a 4-time World Cup champion.
Yeah, but it's big over there. Can you imagine those guys going home, especially those guys that miss those kicks that badly?
The best going home story right now is Uruguay, though. Uruguay, not Paraguay. Uruguay, they canceled the charter. They told players, you got to fly home on your own. Can you? Because they
really?
So much, yeah, because they had such a bad tournament. You're flying home commercial.
Was the guy, is that South Korea guy? He said, we're blowing this whole thing up on fire and we're going to redo the whole thing. He was so pissed off they lost.
You think you can get upset when your team loses here? These are
this is just a city. Can you imagine a country?
So
yeah,
there's some great stories coming out of the World Cup already.
I saw the comments last night and from some of the guys, especially former guys on the World Cup team for the United States, talking about this team can win it all from the USA.
Well, I mean, the odds are 30-1. I saw last night, 30-1. So if you're saying they can win it all, okay, but it would be a major upset if they win it all. I mean, let's categorize that. My son, his birthday today. Happy birthday, Casey. He thinks they can. He's a big soccer guy,
and he thinks they have a chance. I don't know, and honestly, I don't.
It would be a major upset. But
hey, it would be great for MLS. It'd be great.
How about they win a couple more games? Let's start.
No,
how about they win Wednesday night?
Let's just
there,
get a little deeper.
I
agree. Let's not start putting them in the championship game. I'm with you. That is more than fair. But I could feel the pressure.
It'd be a lot of fun
on those kicks last night, lining that thing up. And the mind games that go on with those guys.
Why do they do? Why? Here's what I don't understand. And I love soccer. Why have penalty kicks? Why not go to golden goal? 15 minutes of overtime each side, and then switch in 15 more minutes. Why not do that? Why go right to penalty kicks? It's a terrible way for me.
They do though. We were talking about this morning. Dan, I didn't know this either. So they have their normal 90 minutes plus the added time.
Why not just keep going?
But they do. What they go another? What was it, Dan? What'd you tell me? They go another 15 and then another 15.
Yes, another 30. But why not just keep going? Why not go to golden goal?
No.
Golden goal. I mean, that'd be much better than deciding it with.
You don't want to do the kick. I love the kick.
You love the kicks?
Yes.
It doesn't matter who's doing the penalty kicks. You get nervous.
By the way,
feel bad for people
as they go down, and the guys get worse and worse, as you can see.
Guys who have never been called into that situation.
How about that guy that kicked the field goal? He had a better chance of making a field goal than kicking in the net.
And you know what? They start.
You might have hooked it a little bit
at the end of the game. They start subbing in their best. Another guy or two who's better at penalty kicks. So to set it up. So there is a strategy, but I just don't like deciding it that way. But whatever. Maybe just take too long to get a goal.
Now you're gonna tell me you don't like in baseball in the 10th.
No, I
inning,
do like it.
I do like
it. I do like all the changes in baseball to speed up the game, to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
Because baseball's getting me back. It had lost me there for a while, just for things we're talking about, the 4-hour games. And
I like some of the change. Look, I didn't know how the square was going to work, the strike zone thing, and now I love it.
I love it. Yeah, because part of when you're watching the game is, should he challenge that? Or
you know what else I've learned? Those umpires aren't as bad as everybody made them out to be. When they miss a call, and they're keeping track of how those guys, and the guy behind home plate tonight has the worst percentage of missed calls. And everyone you watch, you're watching these Marlin games at all, or any of your favorite teams, Dave, sometimes they're missing by an inch or half an inch. If that ball's not touching that line, it's a ball.
All I know is I wouldn't want to be the worst rated baseball umpire out there, where I think 88% of his calls are right. That means he's missing 12%.
Yeah.
One every 2 batters, he's missing
I'm not taking a shot, but I need some help out there. And who's the umpire that finally retired? The Cuban umpire down here that was so bad.
Angel Hernandez. Yeah, he was. He was.
I mean, I want to meet him. I got somebody out there in Hialeah or wherever he lives now, because I know he's always stayed down here, and I'm sure. I always wondered, like, people would say, "Hey, man, you're a really bad umpire. How'd you keep your job so long?"
Oh.
And he must know. He must hear it when he was.
I'm sure he heard
he
it.
used to hear it.
You know who else lived out here? Joe West.
Oh, I got
and I would talk to Joe West, and then this is embarrassing. Sometimes your phone, I wouldn't turn it off, and it would butt dial. It always butt dial Joe West, and I'd get a message, Dave, you butt dialed me again.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I was with Al Leiter one night, and Al was down here, and we were close, and we were doing something. We're out in Bonaventure, and having a beer. I don't know if we were golfing or something. We're having a beer, and Joe West was in the place. And Al was not a Joe West fan. And so Al made a comment to Joe, and Joe said, talked about a strike zone, how bad it was. Al let him have it. And I give, I mean, that was Al Leiter.
I didn't know how to take Al sometimes. But
no, I loved Al.
It was my fault. He was great.
Al would let you, Al Leiter let you know anyway. And Joe West went back. He goes, well, I got to be honest, you're one of the wildest pitchers I've ever seen in baseball. And I was like,
here we go.
No, that was it. And he walked away, and I went, nobody will ever believe this moment. It was unbelievable. It was one of the greatest things. I just happened to be there for about halfway through a beer. It was fantastic.
The first time I met Al Leiter, he said, a great personality. He said, my brother-in-law hates you because of your gator takes.
Is that right?
Yeah. And I was like, it stopped me. I go,
Al's great, man. I wish Al was back down here. Al got in with a computer company, made way too much money. We lost Al. He's back up in the Northeast. His wife's from Fort Lauderdale. He got a Fort Lauderdale wife.
His son,
his son's doing great. Mark, is it Mark?
Yeah.
No, is that his brother? Yeah, brother was also.
Yeah, but his son was the number one.
He was.
Check up what he's doing.
Well, listen, let's get caught up here. We're running super late. I can't believe it's 7:00 here. Anyway, we're going to go to break. Before we do, I want to tell you about Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing. Chev, you're right, man. Chev, you're absolutely right. We've been lucky. We're in hurricane season. It doesn't feel like it, but it's coming. And I want to let you know, if you haven't protected your home and you've been thinking about it, I want to let you know all about Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing. Their window hurricane category 5 rated. Loctite Impact provides 100% financing with 0 down, no interest, no payments for a year. You got no leaky roof, replace your old roof now. You can pay later. Plus 24-hour a day, 7 days a week roof repairs for you. You got a problem after a rainstorm, we get some heavy ones, and you just need somebody to come out and fix it. They can do that for you without putting on a new roof. The best part, Impact Windows, as low as $6 per month per window installed. Don't wait for the next storm. Get the deal of a lifetime today. Keep your home protected. Whether you're in Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach, Loctite Impact is the name you need to always remember, covering all of South Florida for you. Call them today. They do everything from start to finish. 954-500-LOCK. That's 954-500-LOCK, or go to LoctiteImpact.com.
WQAM broadcast. WQAM Miami, an Odyssey sports station. The home of Joe Rose with Hollywood, Tobin and Leroy, and Hot Crowder and Solana. South Florida sports lives here.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Doral Volkswagen, home of the price seat to our lowest price. Visit us, Doral Volkswagen or DoralVolkswagen.com. The World Football Scoreboard is brought to you by your local Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is truly unmatched for every match with 29-degree drafts of Michelob Ultra, spicy margaritas with Casamigos, and unrivaled views all tournament. Twin Peaks, eat streets, scenic views. Yesterday, Paraguay defeated Germany in penalty kicks. Brazil downed Japan 2-1, while Morocco, they out-penalty kicked the Netherlands for a win. Today, at the World Cup, Ivory Coast, Norway at 1, France, Sweden at 5, and then at 9 o'clock, Mexico and Ecuador. This weather report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season's coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimates today. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Temperatures in the mid-90s with a slight chance of rain. I am Dan Day. Back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
All right, welcome back here for the 7 o'clock hour. Dave Hyde's in with us, the sports writer of the year in the state of Florida. Congratulations, my man.
Thanks, Joe.
You have no ego, man. I got to bring the ego
I have
out.
an ego, but
I
I wish I had a bigger ego. It would work better. I wish I liked to talk about myself more. You know, I prefer to.
Well, you can't fit in on radio if you can't talk about yourself.
I can talk about you. I like talking about you, Joe.
Hey, so congratulate. Let me get this jab in. Congratulations to the Sun Sentinel and Dave Hyde.
Yeah, the timing is. Life is just hilarious. You know,
Dave,
I'm my last official paid day at the Sun Sentinels today, and yesterday I get in the mail the plaque of Florida Sports Writer of the Year. Somebody's laughing somewhere, right?
Yeah, it was like going out the door. That's a crazy one, man. Hey, so we got a great one Friday night. Messi and Argentina, and it's ironic that we were talking about how cool it would be if I think they should do it. I know it's probably never going to happen because they got their new stadium now, but to see Messi at Hard Rock Stadium. Remember they talked about it.
Yes, when we first came.
The Moss brothers were, talking to the Dolphins about it, and all those guys all know each other. All the billionaires all know each other in town. And I just thought it'd been really nice to allow everybody and have a normal price on a ticket for $65,000 to come and watch Messi play. Now, this is a unique situation. It happens to be Argentina against Cape Verde. But so he's going to finally get a chance to play at Hard Rock. So that's going to be fun to watch. 3-0 Argentina, now one of the favorites here, playing great. And Messi's been unbelievable, 6 goals. And on top of that, there's a new book out that The Messi Effect came out. How long ago that book? It's been a month.
Few weeks.
Yeah, not a long time. Just came out, and so I grabbed it and read it coming home from Denver. And so Paul Tenorio is going to join us coming up, who wrote the books, inside writer for.
He writes for the Athletic, and right now he's out covering. He's out
covering the
U.S. game.
Yeah.
And he's a national/international soccer writer. So
anyway, so he's got this book, and so you had told me about it before and knew this was coming out, a Messi Effect with the MLS, but it's really got great stuff on. And you know what? I came away with a couple things. I know you had a chance to look at some of the stuff. Jorge Moss, his impact on the MLS, obviously Messi, but he was relentless. I don't want to take away from Jose, both of them, but just wanting to change the league. Do we want to be big, or do we want to just stay with our reputation of what we are right now and everything? And Messi being a key piece, and their relationship and what he's done to take this team. I want to say his team was worth $500 or $600 million to now being one of the more valuable franchises.
$1.5 billion, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's now top 10 in the world as a soccer club. So it's been a great story. It really has. Now they got it only goes up with their new stadium that they have, Freedom Park and everything. So it's a great story. And I have, I've learned more about the Moss brothers, to be honest. I've known about them. I knew they won the baseball team. Then they took the soccer team, and David Beckham is also one of the partners, and he's the reason they're able to. He was shopping it around, and this one of the markets he wanted. But just the whole story and all the stuff within it that gave this guy all this great stuff about maybe the greatest player of all time and the impact he's had on this league and everything else, and still wants to play at a high level. But also when decisions are made, Jorge Mas and Messi making them together.
Is that right? Oh, that's interesting. It's a great idea for a book because obviously Messi's the vehicle to tell a larger story about soccer in America and the MLS and the Moss brothers and et cetera, et cetera. But you have Messi being the driver to it all.
Yeah. And they want to be, if you know Jorge Mas, and I'm getting to know him more and more about their love, not only for sports and Columbus family, Christopher Columbus High School family and what they've done there, but also University of Miami for other people that don't know, and what they've done at the U has been unbelievable. Behind the scenes, they're another family that doesn't tell everybody about everything they do. But it's just nice. Anyway, we're going to talk
the last
to
game Inter Miami played. I was just trying to look at the scores. They played not a good team, and it was a tough game, and they came back and won. Remember, Messi pulled himself out at the end of the game, and I'm coming down for the press box. I'm like the last guy out of the press box, and I'm empty elevator, goes down a couple floors, opens, and there's Jorge Mas, and he steps in. He goes, "Hey, how you doing?" We talk for a second. He goes, "Boy, these are the games that really wear you out."
Yeah.
And I go, "Yeah, especially with number 10 coming out." And he goes, "Yeah, he never comes out. I got to find out what's going on." So he's involved. I mean, he's really.
Well, we learn a lot more about him in this book about, after they won the World Cup, I think a lot of people went and Messi was so good. And he kind of stamped himself as the greatest player after that for a lot of people. So now they're going, and Jorge Mas and Jose Mas were on there. Oh, we're going to get him. We're going to get him. We're going to get him. We're working
that
on
went on for sort of like the Giannis thing.
And it went through a lot of it went through the father, who Messi's father, Jorge Messi, has been big part of his decision making for his son. So it's just great stuff all the way around. And I actually can't wait to see the Moss brothers and just tell them, man, how much I enjoyed the story. I think we learned a lot more about their passion. And Jorge didn't make a lot of friends in the MLS with the other owners. Told them we got to step it up. And I
bet
and they're going, hey, slow down on that money.
When you see how much he made the league.
Well, that's the whole
Apple
thing.
TV,
yeah. Well, the vision that he had that some of those guys kind of lost is like, no, we're just kind of a minor league. No, I don't want to be that. No, we're not going to do that. Miami's not going to be that. We're not doing that. So anyway,
what do you think the over/under on a ticket to Argentina?
Oh my God!
I got it right here.
Okay.
The over/under
65,000. So it's the smallest stadium of all the World Cup games. So
it's actually reasonable, Joe. It surprised me.
1,000,
2,500. That's the cheapest ticket on Ticketmaster right now. So I've looked at these are Miami has the most expensive tickets in the World Cup. I'm sure there's a game here and there but in general, and is that because Miami, all these fans want to come to Miami rather than go to Dallas or Seattle?
It's part of everything.
Part of it. Part of the teams
part
are
of
here.
It is for a lot of people that are coming in here that obviously have the money. They have the money to go to that game. They have the money to go out and have a little good time while you're down here. It's a great market. It's a great Spanish market.
You could fly to Argentina, watch the game in Argentina, spend a couple nights there, and fly back probably for $2,500.
Only you come up with that, Dave. I like that idea, right? Hey, get it. The TVs are so good now. We can see everything. We don't need all that stuff. Hey, so anyway, we've got a lot of Panthers news. If you're just joining us, Marlins get another win last night, 10-7. Griffin Conine, pinch hit, 3-run homer. Otto Lopez hit a home run, had a couple more hits. Sandy Alcantara, I had looked this up. They say he's 6-0 in June. He wasn't great last night. 6-0 in June, and 19-6 record this month, and now tied for the last wild card position. I know we're a little over halfway through the season. Got a lot of baseball.
Yeah,
left.
but halfway through, who would have ever thought the Marlins would be tied for a wild card playoff spot?
I got
and
it.
5 games over 500.
Fantastic. And Panthers made a couple moves. We get you all caught up with that. And Andrew Wiggins surprised us, not on the extension, but how everything was done. We'll explain that to you a little bit as well. And the latest news of what might be taking place in the NBA. The thought of LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Steph Curry playing together. I didn't put Draymond Green in there, but LeBron, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry. The part that I'd enjoy the most is that Jimmy Butler get traded potentially to Washington. That's where he deserves it. He deserves to
Washington?
go.
Washington is going to be good.
Good. We'll let him go then and see how he likes that rebuild of getting that thing going again.
Have you seen Jimmy's antics at the World Cup?
Oh, my God. I didn't know he's half Colombian.
Colombia.
Oh, Brazilian.
Oh, no, and Brazilian too. You're right.
Oh, he was a Brazil fan last night?
I thought he was a tennis groupie, but he's also well, listen, he loves sports. He goes to everything.
I give him credit for that, don't you? I mean, for being a fan. I know you don't want to give him credit for anything.
I'm not
Joe.
a fan of the guy at all. Well, it's amazing how quickly you can turn somebody off from how good he was and all the things he did. That
it was pretty bad how he went out. No, I'd let it go, but I appreciate you holding that. Holding.
I let him go, but I'm not ready yet.
Yeah,
don't worry. We'll be kissing his ass and putting his name up there.
He was not missed.
Don't
in the
worry,
organization by the.
Well, watch what's going to happen.
Yeah,
time takes care of everything, and his jersey will be up there in the arena.
You think he'll be?
What do you think?
You think he'll be retired?
What do
you think? He did deliver 5 great years. And then
I'm not putting him with Timmy,
stinkers.
And I'm not putting him with LeBron. I'm not putting him with Shaq and D Wade. I'm probably missing a bunch of guys in there. Hardaway. But
so
probably going to be in there. Probably. Hey, can we talk about another thing that's going on here, Dave? I know you don't like this, and you get weird every time I start talking about ED and low T. You don't have to. I'm talking about myself, not Dave Hyde. No, things are good. He's got more energy. His sex drive is great. I'm talking about mine, man. It was gone. It was bad. Oh, Lord. Nobody wants to get there, but I got news for every man out there. You might be laughing as a younger guy. It's not so funny when it hits you. Oh, no. I can take losing the energy a little bit because you can sleep and, and try to feel a little better. Well, your energy level is gone every day, and it starts to affect you. And now you're not working out as much. Still eat the same amount. You gain 20, 10, 15, 20 pounds. And you're going, what's going on? Well, you're not used to do a lot more. You were active on the weekends. You were staying out. Now you find yourself spending more time on that couch and less time staying active. Then you've noticed your sex drive is hit and miss. And then one day it's just gone. Nothing's happening in that room. Your wife or girlfriends never look better, but nothing's happening in that bedroom. Well, listen, it happens. It happens to every guy out there. It's going to happen. If a man ever tell you it's never happened to me, and I got one guy in my life who's in his 70s who said nothing's changed. He is full of you-know-what. Listen, Atlantic Men's Clinic is here to help you get rid of it, knock it out, and feel like you used to when you were younger. Yeah, seriously. I didn't know it was possible either. But Atlantic Men's Clinic, it works. You go in there, you're going to set up that first appointment like I did, get the PSA test. You meet with that professional staff. They look at the numbers, and then they put you on a program, and you have great results, and it happens pretty fast. And if you're going through it right now, it's super private. Nobody's going to find out about your dirty little secret. 7 locations in South Florida serve you. Set up that first appointment. It really will make a difference in your life. It's been 2.5 years almost, and I've never felt better. 877-455-7300 or visit AtlanticMen'sClinic.com. Atlantic Men's Clinic, guys, listen, it works.
WQAM broadcast.
p.m. on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
All right, welcome back. Good morning, man. Hope everybody out there is going to get some time off. I'm one of those guys likes to wish everybody a couple days off for 4th of July here right around the corner. Spend a little time with your family. And we got Dave Hyde with us here this morning and all day Dan Day. Jamie didn't make it. I think he said he wasn't feeling great this morning. All day, my thought is that he stayed up late on that baseball game last night. So it was a little too much for him to make it in. I ain't buying that flu. He's been hitting that flu thing a few times since we've known him. Young guys don't get the flu. You got to have a flat tire. What's the biggest excuse? I guess flat tire, and I'm not feeling great. That one. Well, a lot of people around here don't come in anymore. Never came back, man.
I'm trying to think. My biggest excuse. Marlins game ran late. Might not be a good excuse.
No.
It was a late game though.
10 runs too. So
yeah, no. There was a lot of offense in that game last night. Conine, Lopez both hitting home runs, and what a nice story, man. I thought they were headed the other way there for a little while. They weren't scoring runs, and then boy, June 1st rolled around, and they got rolling, 19-6. Florida Panthers busy with everything going on. Get themselves a backup goalie, and then on top of that, they bring back one of the oldies but goodies for everybody that's been watching. Radko Gudas is going to be back here. By the way, one of the most liked guys in the history of that franchise. Everybody loved playing with that guy.
I remember Paul Maurice talking about him, saying he was one-dimensional for a while, a tough guy. He was a fighter. That's what he came into the league as, but he
looks like a badass.
He made himself into a good defenseman. And so now you got a badass who's a good defenseman on a team full of badasses and great players. I mean, they just keep getting tougher and tougher.
They're lining this thing up. You know, you got to have little lady luck with the injury bug, which, you know, Barkov going out right off the bat. That was 2 flat tires. That wasn't one. That felt like 2 flat tires when you lose a guy. You know,
Maurice
so
made
valuable.
a great statement about him near the end of the season. He said, you can make a case for Barkov being the best player in hockey. And he's right. He was, everybody knew he's a top 5 players, but you look at what he shutting down the other team's stars, carrying this team through, being the
if you asked him to do nothing but score, he could score a lot more.
Right.
Yes.
And yet his personality is no, I'm going to shut down the other guy too.
Very well respected though, for a guy that's truly a superstar in the sport, and he's low key as can be.
Being low key and quiet. I mean, I'm not sure quiet is the right word, but not. Look, there are loud personality. Matthew Tkachuk's it's a great combination of personalities on that team too.
I always wonder what it was going to be like when Tkachuk got here and was talking about, "Hey, Tampa Bay, your party's over," and I'm going, Barkov's just the exact opposite. How are those two? That thing is.
I remember Don Mattingly.
That's good locker room.
Someone was asked Mattingly's personality, and he had a great answer. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm quieter, but," and he goes, "Wouldn't it be boring if everybody was like me? And it'd be bad if everybody was really loud, and you need a mix in a clubhouse to make it work, team work." And that's what the Panthers have, a great mix.
And it's I always say this, and maybe it's different in hockey and basketball maybe, but you just get, and sometimes after guys are done playing, you find out certain guys didn't get along. Some of the Heat teams, after we found out some of those guys and they were playing together, didn't like each other. But you would have never known it, and that's when the culture kicks in and things work. I tell everybody, our 45 guys weren't crazy about each other. You weren't getting like, if you threw a party, 45 guys were going. We had guys wanted nothing to do with each other away from the football field. Nothing.
And still, I remember Wayne Heisinger once chuckling to me. There's 2 suites that the former players can, 2 big suites. He goes, we have to sometimes put one guy over here and one guy over there because they don't like each other.
No, that goes
that's
on.
Part of sports. That's part of any business, right?
And there's big egos in sports, and sometimes they don't let things go. Hey, listen, Jake Scott and Don Shula for a long time, man. And I used to think the world of Jake, and finally, I mean, it took years and years, but they finally got back on track there. But yeah, this whole thing, everybody.
I spent 3 days in Hawaii with Jake.
I forgot about that.
Talking a lot about Shula and
at that point, he still wasn't.
They weren't.
Yeah, that was still a divorce.
Yeah, a decades-long divorce.
I got to tell you, there's some great stories how that whole thing went down. I mean, I've heard different about him getting traded during preseason, but he refused to take the needle in a preseason game.
Yeah, let's remember, put it in context. Jake's a guy who played the Super Bowl with 2 broken wrists, I believe. Certainly one, I believe, both.
Okay.
So he played.
And those guys did do a lot.
He said, "I'm not going to take a needle in a preseason game in my 7th year in the league when I, been Super Bowl MVP, Pro Bowl. Now's not the time to." And let's face it, he was a difficult guy. Shula would talk, okay, we have a mandatory meeting. It's you'll be and there's a fine if you're not there. And Jake said, "I won't be there." or Shula's when Bill Arnsparger left to the Giants, Vince Costello was the new defense coordinator, and Jake starts mouthing off to him in a practice, and Shula comes running over and he goes, hey, what's going on here? And Jake said, "I wasn't bleeping talking to you." Can you imagine? So no, Shula's not going to, he can't take that stuff. No. So so there was a natural, but I love Jake.
So Jake apparently was a brilliant guy. And when I say that, I thought of Glenn Blackwood too. Blackie had everything figured out and knew what everybody was going to do and all those things. Those guys are special guys back there. So the coordinator, this is after Arnsey was gone, and he's drawn up all this stuff and said, "That ain't going to work. Who's going to cover this guy, that guy?" And he actually in front of the whole team, the coordinator couldn't figure it out. Said, "That's why we can't do it." So I'll get back to on that. The next day he said, "All right, we're going to scratch that defense." But instead of Jake telling him privately, "Hey man,
that's not Jake's way,"
Jake called him out in front of the whole team. And now everybody's going, "We got a dumbass for a coordinator."
And that was
what do you think, they're not going to do that?
That was a team full of smart guys. I remember talking to Arnsparger once. I asked him about being asked questions by he goes, "Yeah, they were all smart guys. Sometimes I didn't have answers, and I just have to make it up to get out of the meeting." And that's, I guess, any coach.
Arnsey, not to go old school, but Arnsey, we had bet check, and he liked to do bet check night before games, which I always thought was weird. Here's this guy, and everybody knew how good he was. I mean, it was no secret. And he pulled those guys out of their room and in the hallway, and he'd have AJ Dewey telling them, and Bob Baumhauer, and he's telling, "Hey, and I see Bo and those guys," and he was putting in. He goes, "Hey man, I just thought of something we're going to put in tomorrow." He said, "I just want to give you a heads up and get you thinking about this. This is why I want to do it on this and this," and they were putting stuff in before. You go, "All right, good night, guys." He wanted those guys to know it right before they were hitting 11 o'clock curfew to go to bed. And our guys were going out.
Part of his genius was the simplicity. I remember Nick Bonacani talking to him, and he'd say the previous coaches would have stacks of plays going into the game of what the game plan is. He goes, "I'd meet with Arnsparger every Sunday morning, and we'd go to the 5 defenses we were going to use that day. We'd go through, here's what we're going to do." And it's very simple, and of course, when you have great players, it helps. But
they didn't make mistakes, though.
Right.
And the other thing is, offensively, Shula didn't like a sophisticated defense. The verbiage was simple. Even the checks were real easy to remember. Certain things, if you overloaded one side and we can't block them off. There's a guy outside you. It's a blitz. If the guy comes, break your route off. Just simple things. And he go over and over and over the same things every day to the point you put you to sleep because you heard it so much. And but that's why if you're a dumbass and didn't know, like how would you not know? Like they never changed. Jim Kick came up to me wearing Mr. Last about 2 a.m, and he was already done playing. I came out. I'd never met him, and I see him of course, we used to run into each other a lot back then. Those guys just finished playing. And so I see Jim Kick, and I go, oh, man, it's really nice to meet. I was really excited to meet all those guys. Some were on our team, but a lot of them weren't. And I, followed watching them in high school and stuff. And I go, man, Jim, it's really nice. He goes, and I ended up, Jim Kick was a great guy. Yeah. Just a fun-loving, great guy. And he said, hey, man, they still run that 70 halfback short option? I go, yeah, still. They got Tony Nathan run that thing. Yeah. He said he named all the plays. And
a decade later, same place.
Same place, man. Everything was the same. Now there was more 90s and 86 goes and that stuff once 13 came in. A few things changed, but they were simple. You call something and you could add something that meant something to one guy. We're on a different route, but it was simple. Like it was, I called it dummy proof, the offense.
Huh.
So,
that's interesting. They're the same playbook, same.
And Shoes is just do the play right. We're not going to worry about it. Like if you run it right, we'll be fine. And we think we're better at certain positions and we're going to go after it. I'll tell you the greatest thing Shoes ever did, man. Shoes went from, and people said he'd never change his offense when he had that great running game with Zonk, the great offensive line, two Hall of Famers, Garden at center. Cooch probably should have been in. I mean, they had a really good offensive line. And then on top of that, they had the 3 best fullback in football, maybe the greatest fullback of all time. And they had 2 running backs that complement each other really well. So they ran, you saw what they did. Verdi threw the football. And then then Marino comes in. He changed the whole offense. And people used to tell me, I'm shocked he's doing this.
Yeah, he won a completely different way.
I am shocked that like he's gone to he's gone like whatever Chargers are doing, he's doing it on steroids now, and he started getting weapons and he started adding guys like, oh, I like this. Get Clayton and Duper in here with Durio and Nat and Jimmy and
the interesting thing about his career, a lot of interesting things, but so in the 60s, he was the Lions defensive coordinator, and his big rival was Vince Lombardi's and the power offense of the Green Bay Packers. That was his, he was a defensive mind. And then to your point, by the end, he's running, he and Dan Marino are running the highest scoring offense. In football.
I never knew that. I never knew because he was always in offensive meetings. He never went in defensive meeting. I think he was scared to death to go in there. Bill Arnsparger. He never left to go
there.
Bill was like a head coach. I mean, you realize how
I do remember talking to Arnsparger, and he said how well they got along, but he goes, once in a while, Shula would second guess something or say, why aren't we doing this? And I'd pull off the headset and
saw him do it.
I'd say, you want to run the defense?
I stood there next to him, and he sometimes had delayed reaction, and he said something about, what the hell is a call? What are we doing out there? And Arnsey used to Bill didn't want to hear it. Bill take off. He goes, you want to call the plays?
Yeah.
And Shoes walked away.
They were one of the great partnerships in coaching, though, those two. The fact every great coach needs help, right? I mean, and Arnsparger was his
Arnsey could have coached anywhere he wanted as a coordinator. I don't know if he ever had the personality to be a great head coach, but he was unbelievable.
Howard
Schneller, those guys rave about him to this day. All of them, that guys that are 80s, 70s.
Yeah, they love
Bo and those guys.
Howard Schnellenberger would pick him up to go to work each day. Not to get into too many old guys' stories here. And Arnsberger's a very quiet guy. And he says, yep, sometimes he would say good morning, and that'd be all he say. Sometimes he didn't say good morning because his mind was already on 3rd and 7. What am I doing?
I did not realize how tough he was in the meetings until in the last 12 months. Bo said, oh, he goes, I know, I hear you talking about Shoes in those offensive meetings. If he was having a bad day or we lost, it was miserable. You couldn't even eat the night before because you knew what he was going to be like. He could make your film study feel He called guys out individually in front of groups, which is the most humiliating, embarrassing thing you can do is get called out in front of all the other people. I tell everybody they should do that in a meeting when they go in today. When you go in, instead of calling that guy in you're not happy with to call him out, just do it in front of everybody and see the reaction. It's just because people hate that. That's the most humiliating thing you can do to somebody.
One thing people, and including me, who was around, don't appreciate is the stress level in teams, especially on for meetings. Guys having bad days being called out in meetings.
So Shoes was so this thing we just had with Flores, Brian Flores not being nice to Tua and didn't say hello to him during the week. And so we were laughing. So I think most guys that play for Shula, like, he had a bad loss. He was pissed at guys. He was pissed a lot of the week. Later in the week, he started letting it go. But early in the week, he was like, what's so funny? Do you see how you played? Hey, maybe you can play better this week, and we can, because if that continues, you're not going to be able to stay on the team. That'll get your attention. That'll get you going. And by the way, I think fans like that. I mean, it was week to week. My great story is that I made the team, the 45-man roster. It was right down the wire, man. And I didn't call my family for a day. And they go, well, we were waiting. We knew the final cuts. We didn't know if you made it or not. What happened? I said, when he gave his speech, when we all sat down, he said, don't get too comfortable. This is just a 45-man roster right now. If you don't play well, we got a lot of guys we had to cut that we like. We'll bring them right back, and you'll be out. It was just nothing like, it was no like, congratulations. This is our 45 guys. Let's go get them. Have a great season.
It was day to day.
It was day to day. You're in week 8. You're going, I don't know. This roller coaster. I don't know. These film studies. I said, I can't. That's tough, man. That was a tough way. There was nothing easy about that compared to walking in today and go, hey, I'm leaving early today and I got stuff to do. Hey, we got to go to break, man. I'm running super late. All day Dan Day's trying to figure out how we can get all these breaks in. Hey, Choice Mortgage, Michael Kotze, you are the man. 30 years of experience. Oh, my gosh. People go, why would I go with Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage? And I go, because of his experience and his service that you're going to get getting it done. Need cash to pay off taxes, liens, judgments, IRS, high interest rates, second mortgages, credit card debt. Call Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage. 561-441-2730. If you own a commercial or residential property with equity, call Michael right now. He can help you. He's been helping Floridians for over 30 years. Looking to buy a home today, he'll get you pre-approved with very little money down, get you always the lowest rates. Now's the time to lock in before those interest rates start heading north again. Call his cell phone. You can get a hold of him 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call or text him, actually. 561-441-2730. 561-441-2730. Nobody does it better than Michael Kotze. MLS 166254. Rates and terms subject to change. Daily without notice. He's an equal housing lender.
The Joe Rose Show is presented
Day, just a few days away from 4th of July coming up. Extra day off there, David, for all of us. Dave Hyde in with us this morning. I almost do it. It's so hard to not say Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel.
You can Dave Hyde of Substack.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got to promote that thing, man.
Yeah. We got a lot of new readers after the show yesterday. They must have been listening. Substack, the home for the homeless writers, and
I wish you stop saying that, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be posting columns on there. I'm working one in my head right now on Zito and Riley and the week they had, and sort of the master class of how to run championship organizations.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So there's a lot of stuff. I haven't talked much about this, and the podcasters and our writers for the Dolphins are, trying to keep stuff rolling here going into the season, and they're picking up what Nationals guys are saying, and the Dolphins are a disaster, and Malik Willis is going to get benched before this thing is done. Hey, man, everybody's making their predictions. Everybody knows the situation. I don't wish this on any team in the NFL to have to go through this. We screwed it up badly. To clean it up, I would just say, before you start trying to figure out, the general manager and the head coach who came into one of the worst situations you could possibly come into, starting with more than half your salary cap money is burned. You don't get
dead money. Yeah, you're
about as dead as you can be.
Half what everybody.
Yeah. You might as well be at a cemetery. That money is so dead. Yeah,
and I like that they took it all at one hit. We're going to do it once.
I agree.
And be done with it rather than spread it out over a couple years.
Get it done, and let's work, and and everybody second guessing, and should have kept this guy. Somebody I saw wrote should have kept Tua, and so everybody's going to have their own opinion on this thing. And then somebody told me Omar said they're going to win 10 games, and I was like, okay, everybody's really all over the place. Hey, man, I know they don't have enough talent to be a really good football team yet. I know that. As I sit here today before we even get into July, I know exactly where they are. But I also have my head set on what I want to see to make this thing. But if you're sitting around waiting and Omar's going to throw out, if this guy develops fast and if this young guy develops fast, they're going to win up to 10 games, I just don't think.
Do you believe in miracles?
That's
what
too
we're
much.
talking.
It's just too much. Well, we can win 10 games with
the way to channel
trouble winning 10 games with all those guys that you guys are all complaining about we got rid of.
The channel this season for me is New England 2 years ago when Drake May was a rookie and they had all these holes and they're trying to figure out what they need. It was a bad team. They won 4 games, and then they went into the next offseason. They said, we need this. We know what we need now, and we have a lot of money to spend. And they went to the Super Bowl last year. They overachieved last year. But the point is,
I thought when I watched him play in that game, well, funny story there, but I walked out and I said, hey, that quarterback's got a chance to be really good. He was running for his life. He had no wide receivers. That offensive line was a disaster. And I said, hey, man, he's got a chance. They get this thing cleaned up and fixed. He's going to have a chance to. And his tackles were horrible. They could not block anybody that day. And I thought the same thing when we played the Saints last year. And all day Danday's a fan of the Saints. I said I thought he's going to be a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
I saw enough in their guy that I thought, I said, man, they should have beat us. Guy dropped a touchdown pass down the sideline. Do a takeoff after Tua did that early celebration slide, and he was short of the first down.
Yeah, Tyler Shough.
It's
funny. Those two guys you bring up, I saw Alonzo Highsmith in the press box at a game in Drake May's rookie, near the end of his November, and he goes, I know one thing. We got a quarterback.
Yeah.
And so the organization knew they'd like to.
So you can know that even if you don't have a good team, to the point on those two guys about Malik. I can, and you can sit back and hey, look it. Everybody knows the situation. I don't know the wide receiver. I don't think we have a number one wide receiver. We don't have one. We don't have one right now.
I don't know if they have a number 2.
We may not have a number
But,
2 receiver.
Yeah.
As
they,
Jeff Ireland once said, you might have a bunch of 4s, 5s, and 6s.
They have a good offensive line, though. That's your
That
first.
thing should be really good.
It should be a good offensive line. They have a very good running back, as good as anybody in football, I think.
Yes.
So there are some points, and to your point, we're going to have to see who Malik Willis is. I mean,
so New England drove their thing through tight ends.
Yes,
and we may have to do a lot of that too.
That's a good point because
they had 2 tight ends.
There.
New England had 2 tight ends they used, and they played pretty well against us in that game I was talking about. But anyway, we got to go to break here. We got to get caught up. Man, the 8 o'clock hour is sneaking up on us here real fast. But before we go to any of that and get back to everything going on, it's been a really, really busy few days with the World Cup, as well as all the news with the Heat, the Panthers, and the Marlins just keep on winning, man. A lot of good stuff going on. Baptist Health South Florida has also been really busy. Really busy making sure you stay healthy with this great sports medicine program they put together. One of the best in the country. Oh, yeah, they rank those things. Baptist Health South Florida sports medicine program is top-notch. You got to go out and you got to hire some of the best specialists or you can't even get in this conversation. You got to have great team doctors. You got to have and great specialists for knee, shoulder, foot, and ankle, hand, back, hip, and knee replacement, Achilles, all those. And, boy, they have put together an all-star lineup of the best for you to get great results the next time you get injured. Hey, people ask me all the time, where do the pros go? I go enter Miami, the Heat, the Panthers, the Miami Dolphins, FIU, FAU. I can go through all the list of events and teams that use Baptist Health South Florida, not to mention all the high school, college, and professional athletes from other parts of the country that come here to South Florida with great facilities throughout South Florida, including 595 in Pine Island in Plantation. Man, the pineapple is alive and well, Dr. Swartzen. We're doing just great. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho. One goal every day for you to get back out playing the sports you love the most.
free.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Doral Volkswagen, home of the price seat to our lowest price. Visit us, Doral Volkswagen, DoralVolkswagen.com. The Marlins took down the Rockies 10-7. The two play again tonight at 8:40. Yuri Perez gets the start. The Panthers trade a 2028 third-round pick to the Vegas Golden Knights for goalkeeper Akira Schmid. They also sent A.J. Greer to the Anaheim Ducks to bring back Radko Gudas. Andrew Wiggins will opt in and agree to a 3-year, $64 million deal. The signing does give Miami some more room to sign other players. And today, the World Cup, Ivory Coast, Norway at 1, France, Sweden at 5, then at 9 o'clock, Mexico, Ecuador. This weather report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season's coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimate today. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Temperatures in the low to mid 90s. A little bit of cloud cover, but not much of a chance of rain. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
Hey, welcome back, and good morning to everybody out there. Hope you're enjoying some of the sports going on. I know not everybody's crazy about Wimbledon, so I'm not going to talk about it. I've been told more than once, like, nobody cares.
I love covering Wimbledon. I did it a couple
tennis,
times.
Nobody
People
cares.
care. People. Wimbledon's like the Masters, right? Even if you don't care about golf,
That's
the
true.
Last day, you want to see that last round of the Masters.
Well, Sinner and Djokovic struggled a little bit in round one yesterday against a couple of guys that never heard of. That's what happens when top seeds play. But they had a rough go. Wasn't easy yesterday, so everybody, and Alcaraz is out, and so we'll see. And Serena's coming back and give this thing a shot at age, 44?
44, I believe, yeah. And good for her,
I think it's great for the game. If she wants to make another run at it.
Believes tennis is left. It's fun. People go out and watch, and maybe she'll
Oh, no,
win.
you'll be rooting. If she can win this round. Hasn't played competitive tennis. It's good stuff. No problem with it. Hey, so that we got the World Cup and waiting to see. Kind of cool story, man. Messi and Argentina are going to be in town Friday night at Hard Rock to see if they can go 4-0 and keep things alive against this Verde team. So,
yeah, that
they should win.
It was one of the strange stories. So, Cape Verde has 500,000 people. Now, Miami, I believe or South Florida has 4 to 5 million people.
I would say in Dade and Broward.
Yeah. So, pick a city, and that's a big city, and that's probably what they have, 500,000 people, and here they are in the knockout stage of the World
Yeah, man,
Cup.
nice story.
Nice. But the story is Argentina here and Messi, and would you pay $2,500 to go? That's the cheapest ticket on Ticketmaster. Would you? I
can tell you, for all that talk about, it looks like these stadiums look pretty full.
They do look full.
They look pretty full.
Yeah,
full of fans from everywhere.
Yeah, coming in, that was the question. The business of, I tell you what, FIFA's cleaning up though, and some of the stadiums are. Did you see that stadium? I believe in Guadalajara, where the mountains, this lush mountain is right outside the stadium.
I didn't see it.
You got to see it. It's the most beautiful stadium I've ever seen.
Is that right? I didn't see it. Yeah. No.
Even better than Fenway.
I have not been to Fenway yet.
You've never been to Fenway? No.
On the list. Got to be the right time.
You've been to New England and Boston enough times. If you really wanted to go to Fenway, you could have gone.
I could have. Actually, was set up, and one night I was with the Red Sox and Yankees were playing, and it was on a Saturday, and I was up there Friday night for a Dolphin event, and everybody I was with had tickets. They had tickets for everybody to go to before going to the Dolphin game, Patriots game the following day. So Saturday, Yankees. It was a hell of a trip for people that spend a lot of money with the Dolphins that go up on those trips, and I was there as the entertainment, and I drank too much the night before.
The entertainer.
I stayed up. I stayed after the event was over. I stayed at the bar with the last group, and I woke up and I was hurting, and I said, I think I'm going to skip the game. That was my chance. It was right there, and I let alcohol get in the way of and trying to get a little.
You had to
extra
entertain
sleep.
a little too hard.
I did, and I gave them their money's worth. Probably offended a few people if I remember that trip did not go necessarily great with some of my stories. Sometimes the stories go too far. You got to read your crowd, and as everybody tells me, sometimes I don't read real well.
I've heard your A material though. It's funny stuff.
Yeah,
but you're right. If you
funny.
it has to be the right crowd,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you know how to bring it up and bring it down if you need be.
I try, but sometimes it's too late, and certain things you stay away from. Even when
there are some roommate stories there.
Even when you're Catholic, you still can only go so far before the serious Catholics sometimes don't like the guys, the Catholics that go 3 or 4 times a year. They don't. They didn't go along with some of my entertainment that specific day. I remember like yesterday, actually. Hey man, so we got Andrew Wiggins said, "Hey man, I want my $30 million, so I'm going to opt in, but I want to stay here." So they give him a 2-year extension for another $34 million. He is eligible, as Ira Winderman said. I saw in the Sun Sentinel, he is eligible to be traded if there's something out there that they want. Or, hey, listen, man, as you said, nice complimentary piece.
Yeah, it's just how they put it together, because they have basically $19 million to spend on. There's 4 roster spots open right now, and is that now? Do they expand that by trading? I don't know how they're going to put it together, and I don't know what the options are.
I think it counts on who it is,
right?
But so this talk about Anthony Simons, who's a really good player. I know it looks like they're going to have a lot of teams going to be interested. Timmy Hardaway Jr. Sounds like it makes sense towards the end of his career at 34, coming down here. That just to me makes sense, right? To come back.
It makes perfect sense. He shoots 40.7% on 3-pointers in Denver last year. Wiggins, to your point, 41% last year, career high for the Heat. Those are the guys that model is what they want now. Do the dollars make sense for Hardaway? I don't know.
This other talk has nothing to do with South Florida, not directly. LeBron and Golden State making a push to get Anthony Davis out of Washington, and also get LeBron and Steph Curry to play together. I guess Steph and LeBron, they'd had time together in the Olympics and stuff, playing on some teams, and that putting those guys together, if they can. I didn't realize they're all represented by Rich Paul from Clutch Sports, who is LeBron's buddy going way, way back, right? He's part of that very special.
Part of that inner team. That's kind of interesting that LeBron is, they got that tight team going. But Golden State signed Porzingis. You talk about getting an old.
They're just getting the old group back and try to run it one more time.
It's like Space Cowboys.
Hey, I think it's great for the NBA if it happened, but how are you going to play them? There's going to be 2 guys out all the time. There's no way those guys are playing all the time. Matter of fact, we saw Steph Curry. He's not playing back-to-back games very much anymore, too, because he's sneaking up on 4-0. Still a great player, and Anthony Davis, doesn't matter what age, he can't stay healthy. So what are you doing? Hell, LeBron might stay healthier than all of them.
You're putting together the best possible team you can, knowing you're still short of Oklahoma City and San Antonio, probably.
Yeah. No, you're still fighting that situation. You're right.
Come east, LeBron. Come east.
Oh man,
I just don't know that unless like as Ira said, you can trade Wiggins. Do you make a trade like that for?
I think it'd be
LeBron?
Great. I know not everybody agrees. It would be great to get LeBron back here.
It'd be.
You want to talk about already getting Giannis back here? You add LeBron with it and see what happens. It's about winning right now. Don't trust me. I know it's not. Nothing's no longer about 3 or 4 years down the road with the way free agency is. And
well, certainly not when you trade for Giannis. It's about winning now, right? I
mean, right now.
Yes. And what's the best package you can put around? Boy, you would love LeBron's just everything he's been through, his smarts, his game. I mean, his game, if you're talking the 3rd best player on a team, him in that role. Are you kidding? You're not going to find many.
I thought
a lot of teams still want LeBron.
I thought LeBron did a great job of taking clearly a back seat to Luka last year.
Yeah.
Which Luka, listen, he's a scoring machine. But I thought he did a real good job with that. And, hey, sometimes he was third. A lot of games, he was the third guy. So, and I'd love to have him back if he wanted to come back here. I think things are good. You talked about it yesterday. He and Pat Riley are fine, all that stuff. And he wants to come back here. Cleveland, I'm sure saying the same thing.
Same thing. Finish.
Still goes there a lot. Still spends a lot of time going back home. And their team's not bad. Hell, he could maybe be the difference. That I don't get the love affair with Harden. He's going to opt out. They're going to pay him more money to stay.
Why would they want him? Why do they want him? That's geez, I'm not a fan.
Very few guys I'm going to pass on him at any price.
Yeah.
James Harden's one of those guys. Yeah. Just not a fan. The Jaylen Brown thing is really interesting too. How did a guy so good get badmouthed so much? Now his dad's coming out and he's got his dad now wanting to fight guys and talking about guys. And
all I know is sitting here from South Florida when the Heat get Giannis, the side bonus was watching what happened in Boston. And will that, I don't know, blow apart a team, but they got to figure out emotionally are they going to bring Jaylen Brown back? Are they going to trade him?
They would have kept what they had last year. They might be the best team in the East, and I don't know why. I don't care about personalities. I don't care what you think of Jaylen Brown. I don't care when some idiot comes back and says he's the 7th best player on most teams. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't care. I know these guys are going by numbers and stuff. Who in the hell in their right mind is going to say Jaylen Brown's the 7th best player? Not 7th best player in the league, 7th best player on a team. And it was just stupid. Like, people are saying stupid stuff in the name of I'm an NBA insider. You bring back those two guys, Tatum and Brown, together with that group. You're only going to be better. They won 56 games with them without
they
Tatum.
Just won a title when they were healthy. So yeah, I'm with, and it's a very deep team. So I'm curious. It's a very well run team too. So I'm curious to see what Brad Stevens, maybe he knows this, that we can't put it back together, and I got to trade Jaylen Brown. So
you mean finances wise?
No, just maybe things have been said and done inside the team that make it Tatum and Brown don't want to play together. I don't know. I'm just saying it's just weird. I get that they put him in the Giannis trade. They had to do that. They had to go see, can we get Giannis?
How many teams have a better 1-2 punch when those two are healthy? Truly have two guys better every night than those two. Not too many.
I'm thinking the teams in the finals. I mean, the question always with San Antonio, who was the second guy after Wemby? Now those guys are so young; they're still defining who they are.
The upside of that team for everybody thinks that thing's only going to get better.
Yeah.
Those young guys aren't going to lose their confidence and go away. They're only going to get better. You keep those guys. Now, they got one guy they'd like to get rid of if they can. It's making a lot of money on that team that just disappeared and played like doo-doo in the finals.
Yeah.
He was
that
terrible.
Was a weird one. He was a great player.
He was.
Maybe he was hurt. I don't know. That's one of those
probably
mysteries.
Probably hurt, but also made bad decisions mentally, whether you're hurt or not.
I would watch San Antonio during the regular season. I heard elsewhere he's might be the fastest guy in the league, and you didn't see it in that. So I'm guessing.
I think he was clutch player of the year, like in the last few minutes. That thing they have of who hits the most clutch shots late in a game. He'd won that, and he was terrible.
That's why LeBron thinks you're going to get by that, and unless you're giving that might be his best option, though.
Yeah.
It's all about options at this point.
All right, so we've got all that going on. The Marlins, nobody's talking about them, but they don't care.
We're talking about them, Joe.
19-6, man, in June, and I got a lot of stories. They've actually got just about everybody heating up on that team except your center fielder. Marcy is the only guy outside of Marcy who's kind of ironically a guy they wanted to build this thing around. I was told before the year started, if there's one guy they like to kind of build it around going forward because they thought he was going to be a lot better.
Well, everybody thought after the way he finished last year,
And
okay.
the bats just flirting around that 200 mark and really struggled. But, boy, they got a lot of other guys. Just a lot of guys are really starting to look the part. And, God, great stories with the
They're going to be buyers.
Staff.
They are going to be buyers going to the trade
I
deadline.
hope you're right there because I hope you're drinking that Kool-Aid that owner's telling you.
Yeah.
And if you are,
before the season, if we're in a position,
we'll do it. Dave, let's go to break here, man. At some point, we're going to try to catch up here with everything. We got a lot more stuff to get to here this morning while we continue on, so don't go away. Want to take a second to tell you about Super Sure. Oh, yeah. When you sign your insurance policy, some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for that renewal. Your business runs all year. So do the gaps and so do the risk. That's why I'm introducing Super Sure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just buy a policy online. Super Sure is a super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with your year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts, which translates your current policy into plain English so you can do what's covered and you know what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your policies in one place. Go to supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Check it out. Paid for. Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency. All right, welcome back. Good morning, everybody. Dave Hyde with us this morning. All day, Dan Day also in. All day, man. You've been putting in some serious, long days here, too. Running everything here at the station,
I think it's
brother.
all day, all night, Dan Day.
I love it.
We got to change the name here.
And I got to tell you, the guy, he's passionate. The dude works, man. And I see it. In social media. He got a lot of fans and got great shows during the weekend that he does. But he's here ready to go, man. So Woody's on vacation with the family, getting some time in with the family here before football season kicks in with the Canes and the Dolphins, and before you know it, everybody will be rolling. And we haven't talked much about the Miami Hurricanes football team, but ready to go.
Their time's coming, right? I mean, they look.
I can't wait to see from quarterback down how good it's going to look. I got to tell you, I enjoyed this offseason because they got a lot of guys. He got a really good recruiting class. Now, Texas A&M is also, to be fair, really cleaned up. A&M's getting this 2 and 3 guys. Seemed like I saw they just got second or third best wide receiver in the country. So they're loading up, spending obviously a lot of money. They also got the tackle as of right now, verbal commitment from the top tackle in the country who happens to play at St. Thomas Aquinas, number 1 tackle in the country.
Miami got him or Texas
A&M got him. Oh. Yeah. We're going to get you out to some high school football games this year. You got it. I know,
Joe. You are. I've always
it's a hard sell on the
wife.
wife.
No. You love it. You love going out and watching, and I appreciate that.
But you know who doesn't get it? And I'm not taking shots at my wife. She goes, I got to be honest with you. I don't ever say anything. I know how much you like sports and, everybody down here in your community. And you tell me that 4 guys went to high school down here that are really good in the NFL now, and you got to talk to them and stuff. And I like that. That's one of the things I do like, telling a guy, hey, man, I saw you, playing and a game. Oh, man, that's really cool. She goes, but I don't get why somebody would like high school football that doesn't have a child going to the game or a relative going to the game. Because I used to go to my nephew's games too for different sports. Why would you want to go no matter?
There's a part of me, I understand what because
she goes, it's a Friday night, you're leaving tomorrow. Why do you want to go to this game?
But I love that you have the passion to do it. That's to me, I see both sides of it. I think our wives are very similar. My wife has no interest in sports either. I've told you the story. We were talking with friends, and somehow Wayne Gretzky's name came up, and my wife said, "Oh yeah, he's called the house. Yeah, I've talked to him." And I go, "I don't think so." And she said, we were talking, and then I'm thinking, who could it have been? And I go, Bob Greasy. And she goes, oh, Bob. Oh, yeah, that was it. It was Bob Greasy, not Gretzky. She never heard of Wayne Gretzky.
That's funny.
Anyways, to your point, I understand what your wife is saying, though, that because when my kids stopped playing high school sports, I lost the passion to go. But I appreciate your passion for high school football down here, where it's so good.
One of my really good friends' son is a wide receiver at American Heritage Plantation. And I said, hey, I'm going to go to a couple of games and watch Michael play. I want to see him. He's a really good player. He's really come into his own. He's a late developer, and he's going to be really good. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. So he goes, well, how many games you plan on going to? We're having this talk the other day. I go, it's friggin' Ralph, man. Ralph's my guy.
Is that Ralph's son?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard he's a good player.
Unbelievable. So I'm really give him a little shout out there this morning, but looking forward to going to see him play, as I've seen him since he's younger and used to play a little tennis and was playing all the different sports. And now he's a grown-ass man, young man, and ready to go. So, but that's a hard sell. So wait a sec. So you want to give up a Friday night, us going to have dinner? I go, no, but I thought we could have dinner early.
Well, can we have that?
Because we're at the early bird. No, we get a special. We'll go to early bird special. It didn't work, though. Don't worry, Dave.
You've thought of everything.
It didn't go over.
You strategized very well, but she's seen right through you, Joe.
Yeah. No. Well, I tell her, hey, how about if you don't want to do this, how about we go to a Canes game Saturday night? So what? I'm not going to a Canes game. She did go to one game, though. I did get her to a game. Of course, where we were sitting, I told her she got a little spoiled. That's not where we usually can sit in the president's box. That's not gonna,
Oh, that's right. You got with all the celebrities.
I went to president's
you and
box
Jimmy,
one time.
and was Matthew McConaughey in
They
there?
had everybody in that thing.
Belichick
and Belichick's crazy girlfriend. And, oh God, that was a wild night. A wild night.
And you know what? Miami looks like they're going to have a lot of wild nights coming up here. Just from they got it up and running again. They
got it running, and the schedule is screaming. They're going to be really good. They got Notre Dame on the road, and honestly, they should be just fine. I mean, I'm going to be shocked if Notre Dame runs all over them. They're really good. Just how quickly will it all come together? I always worry, first time quarterback coming in. Spring football is one thing. Hell, they didn't even have the spring football. Carson Beck didn't even have spring football. He just showed up and got it rolling. And I can't wait to see how it goes for him this year. See if he gets any playing time in Arizona right off the bat.
But look what they've done at the quarterback. It's a fascinating strategy in the new world. They got a good coordinator in Shannon Dawson, and number one pick in the NFL 1 year, Cam Ward. Last year they get a SEC veteran. He's played in big games and all that, and then he had as good a year right to that last pass as anybody could.
He had
a real
nobody can complain.
No,
he had a good year.
You got your money's worth, and now they go out and get. Basically, just took you Duke used them as a minor league, and everybody says he's great. So I'm curious to see how quick. But you're right, to your point. How quickly is there going to be any the growth and the molding of a team together? Does that even matter anymore? Is it just?
Oh no, I still think that's part of it. Hey man, there's been a lot of teams you put together through the transfer portal, and it doesn't work. When I asked Florida State, they had one really good transfer portal class, and they went undefeated. All those guys left. A lot of them got drafted. It was unbelievable.
Well, I remember Cam Ward saying, "Why did he pick Miami?" And he said, "I knew I had to win right away, and they have the most returning good players that I could find."
Starting with the offensive line.
Yeah,
that thing was.
Because I said it was money. How much money? He goes, money didn't play a factor because I was getting the same money from 5 or 6 teams.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Well, listen, he's got a really good team. How quickly will it develop together? I agree. There are certain things that, like somebody told me, their offense line is going to be better. I go, calm down. How can you say that? How can you say after what we just saw from the offensive line?
A first round, a high first round pick.
But it was just the way that group played together in big games, the way they drove the ball down at the end of games against some of the best teams in the country, A&M and Ohio State. They even against Indiana, those guys did not play poorly. They had some nice runs in that game. Anyway, hey, Dave, we got to go to break, man. We say that a lot, don't we? We got to go to break. Sound like I'm going to the bathroom. I got to go to break here. Hey, I want to tell you real quickly, we've got a lot of stuff going on this morning that we need to get to. I do want to take a moment once again to tell you about your South Florida Chevy dealers. Great products, man. This is it. Whether it's a Chevy Colorado, could be the Colorado Custom to the ZR2. We got a Colorado for you. And if you want the Silverado family, boy, there is a lot to choose from. Really doesn't matter whether it's a custom Trail Boss to the Silverado EV. You got 10 models with 4 powerful engine choices. Silverado delivers everything you could ever want. Strength, dependability, and efficiency. You get it all. And we got 14 dealerships, South Florida. I want you to go down. And now you need some big boys with all the power and all the strength, because that's how you make a living 7 days a week. You don't stop till the job is done. How about a Chevy Silverado HD? Again, maybe it's a Chevy Silverado HD, the High Country. Well, whatever it is, we got one truck that's absolutely perfect for you and your South Florida Chevy dealer needs. Whatever it will be, they've got for you a truck that's strong, durable, for enjoyment as well as getting the job done. Stop by your South Florida Chevy dealers. We got a truck for you. Visit your local South Florida Chevy dealers today. Together, let's drive.
WQ
Next starts now. Hyundai, an official partner of FIFA.
Your favorite shows.
The games of your favorite South Florida teams.
We've got them.
Right here on the Q, baby.
Catch us on FM 104.3.
Or listen to WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Don't miss a thing.
Hey, welcome back, and good morning to everybody out there, man. A lot of stuff going on. World Cup. Got some more games at Hard Rock Stadium. Not done. I can't. I know it's Miami.
Do you watch
Stadium,
the World Cup?
I like it during the day.
I watch it. It's like part of my schedule now, like World Cup games.
It is. Now, listen, it's got to split some time right now with Wimbledon, but that's okay. It's just for me. And Wimbledon is like watching the Masters. Like, you hit it perfectly. It's a little different different than the other tournaments, and it's fun to watch for me personally. But I
love covering Wimbledon. Had the greatest comeback I've heard, even better than the Patriots 28-3. Martina Navratilova last Wimbledon. I was there, and before it, she had a big press conference. And at the end of the press conference, one of the tabloid writers from London stood up and said, "Martina, are you still a lesbian?" And the room went silent. But without missing a beat, she said, "Are you still the alternative?" That was the best
awesome
comeback.
That's awesome. It's funny. One day I'm at the tennis courts and I'm playing Plantation, and getting out of my car, and there's Martina. And I was like, holy smokes. Said hi. I didn't want to make a big deal. I figured she was doing something in town. And she actually lived in Broward County for a while a house was getting done or something. So she was there, and she was out there all the time.
Huh.
And everybody tried to leave, you kind of like, hey, leave her alone so she can just play. And because she liked to hit.
This was when she was playing?
It's recently, not too long ago, in the last couple of years. And you never know. Mike Tyson was out there for a while.
Mike Tyson played tennis?
No, his daughter's a really good tennis player. So he was going out to watch her. We've had Bob McAdoo they going, hey, Bob McAdoo's here. You have any idea why? And I go, yeah, his daughter's a really good tennis player.
Very good player.
Yeah. So he, you never know, man, who's going to show up. And Lewis Oliver told me, Hitman Lewis Oliver goes, hey, you like tennis? Yeah, my daughter's playing. Oh, really? So Louis got the bug.
Huh.
So it's kind of cool. Hey, speaking of cool, Paul Tenorio, who came out with the Messi Effect book, it just came out a couple weeks ago. Dave Hyde, I got to give him credit, gave me a heads up on it, and just to read. I like reading books, and you were asking me. Yes, I like sports books, and I like books where I know who the characters are.
What was the previous book you read, Joe? I'm just trying to.
Are we
book of the month or book of the year?
Oh no, there's not a lot of books.
Okay.
But I like the Jimmy Day book, Jimmy Johnson. Because again,
I like that. I like that you liked it. Swagger. That's
well, all the characters and the stories, and then on top of all that stuff with the book, I'm with Michael Irvin at practice. He goes a lot of spring football practice, and so Michael is hanging with me for practice, which is great. It has not changed a bit. For people who remember Michael Irvin from St. Thomas Aquinas, and still comes down here a lot, still got his family down here. And he started telling me stories. So I've heard him from Jimmy and you. Now he's telling me on the other side about getting benched, and North Turner going, has he served enough?
He was late for a plane. So Jimmy to a trip to Detroit, I believe, and Jimmy benched him. Yeah, and go ahead. Yeah.
No, and he says he's standing there. He says, I apologize to Jimmy, and Jimmy's just all pissed off. And Norv goes, so I'm standing there and waiting to go in, and Norv goes, has he served enough? has it been? It was a couple plays. He goes, has it been long enough? And Jimmy goes, that's enough.
That's right. Get in there.
So, no, he tells. It's funny to hear Michael on the other side, who Michael's had his share of demons. So.
But he's also had his share.
What a sweet guy, man. They love having him around that football team. And he
Before
is
Michael was
so good with those guys.
Voted into the Broward Hall of Fame. I went with him to his old neighborhood in Fort Lauderdale, and he's looking down on the ground, and he's wiping the dirt away at the edge. And I go, Michael, what are you looking for? He goes, I put paint marks here. and 40 yards down the road, I put more, and 100 yards. And he goes, every day I'd come home after practice and I'd run the streets. And you talk about a guy who, we all know his wild personality and all that, but he was a guy who he worked hard. I remember at a UM practice, he ran after practice with a guy who was being penalized. He had a discipline.
Yeah.
And Michael said, I'm going to run with you as your teammate. And so he was a great teammate.
Michael, when I think of all those guys at UM used to love to compete and practice every day, I think of him. He's one of the first guys when they talk about, and you hear Andre Johnson talk about what practices were like, all those great players. I mean, great players. And Marl's trying to bring that back, and it's not easy with the transfer portal, and I can quit and go, and I can be a free agent if you make me mad, and my mom and dad aren't happy.
And if you practice too hard, is that in college?
I don't know. They get after it.
Yeah, because
I went to a Dolphin practice and I went to a UM practice one day apart.
Significant difference.
Whoa, my heart.
They don't let them hit like that in the NFL, or they didn't down here anyways.
Let's just say this, on that offensive line, they get after it. Offense and defensive line get after it every day. They get after it. That wasn't by accident that was a physical team last year. That was a physical team. In those playoffs, that was a physical team. There was no finesse about that.
Yeah.
That was they got after it. Hey, we got a break here. We got some stuff to get to with Messi, which I'm really excited about with the book. And Argentina just happens to be with Messi coming down to Hard Rock Stadium Friday to play in the World Cup. I can't think of anything better. I was thinking he's never going to play there, man. This is really, really cool. I don't know if he played in any of those games before playing on Barcelona or not when they were down here. I'm not sure if he played or was on the team at that point. But anyway, we've got to go to break here. We've got a lot of stuff going on this morning, so we'll take a quick break. But before we do, I do want to take 1 second to tell you about Chill Zone Air Conditioning. President Melissa De Verona, thank you so much for answering the phone every day for everybody. I love that the president actually takes the calls and sends a crews out and finds out what the problem is. The fact that you can even talk to the president of a company like Chill Zone Air Conditioning. And I just want to say this, if you're not happy with air conditioning companies you've used in the past, and we're getting ready for, you can tell it's going to be another hot one. You're in Dade and Broward County, always late. Those guys always show up late. Never call you, don't know what's going on when they get there, clueless, don't have the right stuff, don't know how to fix it. All of a sudden, prices change. It's frustrating. People get mad. Wait, now they're telling me it's not under warranty. If you need straight talk and you want to see a company, you're ready to try something new, I think you're really going to like Chill Zone Air Conditioning. I want you to call 786-378-2778. Her name's Melissa. She's going, hello, this is Melissa. Can I help you? And you're talking to the president. I mean, sends a crews out. They're great. They're on time. They're knowledgeable, and they're ready to make sure you have a good experience in a bad business. ChillZoneAC.com. Check them out. Chill Zone Air Conditioning, 786-378-2778. I use them on time and feeling fine. Thank you.
20 used vehicles under 20 grand. Only at the Edmore Sawgrass Auto Mall budget.
888-747-3733.
Deadline's brought to you by Doral Volkswagen, home of the price seat to our lowest price. Visit us, Doral Volkswagen, and at DoralVolkswagen.com. The Marlins and the Rockies play tonight at 8:40. Yuri Perez gets the start. The Panthers traded for the Vegas Golden Knights goalkeeper Akira Schmid. They also traded A.J. Greer to the Anaheim Ducks to bring back Radko Gudas, and Andrew Wiggins will opt in and agree to a 3-year, $64 million deal. This weather report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season is coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimate today. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Temperatures in the low to mid 90s, some cloud coverage and slight chance of rain. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM, WQAM.
All right, welcome back in 9 o'clock hour. Great to have you with us. Appreciate you waiting through all the commercials and everything that we do here at the station. Dave Hyde's in with us. Dave, somebody just sent in something, and I got to tell you, I agree. We got a little carried away on this, and I'm going to back you up a little bit. I just said this to you before we went back on the air. I do agree. The Panthers are right there. They're not. The Heat are not in the same situation as the Panthers right now.
Well, the Panthers have won 2 championships
recently.
2 of the last 3 years.
Right.
So absolutely.
Kept everybody together for the most part. The core is back. They've added a really good piece in Brady Tkachuk. I understand you got to go. And the goalie, by the way, you make an argument outside of quarterback in the NFL. The goalie could be the second most important position in professional sports.
So no doubt they have a plan for a goalie,
but
just
I'm going to get you stumbling a little bit, but we can't put the Heat in the same boat because of I totally agree with the guy. He said, wait a sec. The Panthers, we know, are right there again with everybody coming back and healthy, and you can't put the Heat in that situation just because Giannis is there. Although I do feel better.
I'll put the Heat in that situation over the past few decades of being a championship organization.
Oh, okay. You're just talking.
I'm talking both Pat Riley and Bill Zito are giving master classes on how to run
I agree with that.
organizations.
Right.
Okay. That's yes, the Heat are trying to make themselves contenders, and we'll have to see how this all shapes up.
If they have enough money to get the right pieces to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. But
the other team has they already know what they have.
But everything Bill Zito's touched has been gold. It's just been amazing the last.
Zito's only thing he has to worry about, you can't worry about it because you can't build a team worried about guys getting injured, that if they go through the same thing again, then they're shot. Listen, they got beat up about as badly as you can on injuries.
Every night it seemed like 40% of the lineup was out.
Yeah. Yeah. Paul Maurice used to come on and say, I've never seen anything like this. It's crazy. So it's more than fair. Right now, probably should be putting the Panthers ahead of where the Heat need pieces, where the Panthers, that core is there. That core is there.
And it's, you know what, the great thing about, and the Heat did this with the big 3, they're constantly every offseason adding something else.
Yeah, another
so
shooter.
It doesn't get stale. There's no stale, it's same team back. And by the 4th year of the big 3, they were kind of tired of each other. You know, it's hard to maintain.
But the other thing is, when you have the big 3 together, and the Panthers went through this too, when guys are going, I'd like to go down and play for the Panthers. Everybody when, hey, we got to trade you, where do you want to go? Or we got to buy your contract out. What are you going to do? And I go, well, if the Panthers want me, since you're picking up my tab, or if the Heat want me, they wanted to come to those teams.
And what the Panthers are getting is like guys rejuvenating their careers, you know, coming down here for a year and then go signing for big money elsewhere. And you've seen it. And
guy they just traded away his rights to. There you go.
Greer, Ekman Larson to Toronto. So that's what great teams and great organizations are able to do.
It's going to be fun. Listen, you add Giannis, they're going to talk about you.
Well,
you got
top
Giannis,
5 player in the league. I mean,
when he's healthy, I don't know where you want to put him, but you're right.
Maybe he's top 3. He's as long as he stays healthy. And then what can they build around him?
Yeah,
but that's the hard.
I'm really
piece
curious to see Bam and Giannis next to each other and how that works.
It'll take some figuring out for them, I'm sure.
So is it going to be 15, 16 points? Still needs to you know, what's he going to look like
offensively?
offensively?
But he's expanded his game. He's now shooting 3-pointers. So, I mean, they have options on, but how they figure it now defensively, it'll work.
Yes.
They're both great defensive
You
players.
throwing Wiggins too, if he stays defensively, they're going to be
Davion Mitchell.
Team.
I mean, their identity, that will be there every night, that defense.
But with this free agent period for the NBA and for hockey,
Joe, we're on it. Next 24 hours, they both kick off, right?
It is crazy right now. The hockey and basketball stuff are really going to get rolling here, and then those damn Marlins, man. How about that story? I cannot believe and everybody kind of warned me that we talked to the same guys. And you go, hey, it might be one rough year before they really, and I'm like, they guessing if they'd all tell the truth, they didn't expect so many guys having a career year. When you're starting pitchers and your shortstop, I mean, you got some guys playing crazy. You didn't know you're going to call up a catcher. He's going to be this good. I mean, they got a bunch of great stories on this team, and now, outside of Marcy, they got pretty much everybody starting. I mean, you look at batting average, and a lot of them are 220, 230, but they had a bunch of guys around 200 here not too long ago. And in the month of June, boy, everybody kind of picked it up. And just the confidence, and it's pitching, it's defense, and timely hitting. Now Conine's up there, hits a pinch hit, 3-run homer yesterday. So they got a lot of really, really good stories here going on. We're going to take a break here to kind of time this up with Paul Tenario and talk to him about the Messi Effect. Great book if you get it and you like the Messi stuff, or how this whole thing came about. It's a great story. It really is, from with Messi, going through the Messi thing from his days at Barcelona to, played on some great teams to finally coming over here after winning the World Cup, and what he's done for the new league so far, the MLS. Just a lot of stuff about Jorge Moss brothers, the whole group, David Beckham. Just a really, really fun read of this stuff, and just ironically, while we're talking about that, Messi and Argentina are going to be playing at Hard Rock Stadium Friday night, trying to move on in the World Cup. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
The Joe Rose Show is presented by Loctite.
at the Casino at Dania Beach.
All right, welcome back. Hey, man, we've got a lot of World Cup stuff going on. It's really cool. Messi going to be back here in town to play at Hard Rock Stadium Friday night. Argentina 3-0 in the tournament so far. And Dave Hyde told me about this a couple weeks ago. So I'm going on vacation, stopped by the bookstore in Denver, and you had said, hey, we got to get this book, the Messi Effect. This Paul Tenorio wrote this book. It's fantastic about the whole story, the impact he's had on the MLS, going about recruiting Messi and getting him here in South Florida after, not too many years ago, winning the World Cup and everything else that took place. So I grabbed the book, and it's fantastic, knowing Jorge and Jose Moss a little bit. And he joins us right now, Paul Tenorio. Paul, thank you so much, man, for getting up early out in California.
No problem. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, I got to tell you, man, I really enjoyed it and enjoyed the read. And Dave teased me on it and said, hey, man, it's got a lot of great stuff about, because we talked about it and we used to make fun of the Moss brothers. Like, someday we're going to get Messi. Alon Beckham's going to help us, and we're going to get Messi here. And I'm going, he just won a World Cup. He's making $1 zillion in some of the best teams in the world. Why in the hell would he want to come to this MLS? And here he is and playing out of this world. How surprised were you as you went through this whole thing to see how it went about and getting Messi to enter Miami?
I mean, you know what? You weren't the only one that was surprised. I even remember, we reported that Messi was likely to announce Miami the night before he announced that he was going to Miami, and kind of got teased about it a little bit when we reported it. But in the weeks leading up to that night where we reported, I remember I was in a press box at a Chicago Fire game in Bridgeview, Illinois. It's the most thrilling thing that's ever happened in Bridgeview, Illinois, was me in that press box learning Messi was coming to MLS. But in the weeks leading into it, I had a conversation with the source where he told me Miami's going to sign Messi, and I didn't believe it, which is why I didn't write it for several weeks. So it was very surprising. The reporting, the likelihood was that he was going to go back to Barcelona. And as I wrote in the book, had Barcelona not been such a mess, that's probably where he would have wound up. But Miami had put in the work. They had spent years recruiting Messi. They'd gone out the secret trip years prior when Messi was still at Barcelona with David Beckham and Jorge Mas, Paul McDonough getting on this private jet, going up sneaking in the back way in the hotel and meeting Jorge Messi in a suite. And I think that shows just how much work went into this, that it wasn't like, okay, now he's available, let's jump on it and try to get him. And Jorge Mas ends up in a suite at the World Cup final in Qatar with the Messi family watching Messi win the World Cup. It was a process. The Moss brothers really believed that they could do it. They put the effort in, they put the miles in for sure, and mostly they put their money down, and they put a percentage of their team down to make it happen. And that's how we got Messi in Miami.
The second part of this that's been a shocker. He has not let up at all. And for a guy that's made as much money, been successful, I thought it might be part vacation when he came over here, and he is driven to still be great. Even and now, I think he just turned 39 on June 24th. Incredible. Has that surprised you on the level of play that he continues to play at?
I haven't been surprised by it, but only because of reporting the book. There's that scene in the book, in the first day Messi signs the fake contract. He's all dressed up in a suit, and he's there to take the photos of signing a piece of paper. And afterwards, he goes into Chris Henderson's office, the sporting director at the time, and he sits down, and he's with David Beckham and the Moss brothers, Chris Henderson, and he looks around at the stakeholders of the club, and he says, "Tell me all the trophies I could win." That's awesome. His mentality all the time, right? His mentality is, I want to win. I want to compete. And I think mostly what people maybe discount with Messi is he understands that he is always competing against his own legacy. Every game he plays, it doesn't matter. There's the scene in the book, he's in the locker room after Inter Miami gets trounced by Ronaldo's Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, and he lights into the team. And he says, we can't have performances like this. We can't have, even in a preseason game, because it doesn't matter, right? Every newspaper around the world says Ronaldo's Al Nassr beats Messi's Miami 6-0. So he understands that every result, every game, every performance is put into context in his entirety of his career, in his legacy as the greatest of all time. And that's what we've seen from him in this World Cup. He didn't commit to playing in this tournament. Why? Because he wanted to be able to not just play in the tournament, but to be Messi in the tournament. Could he still be the featured player that he always has been? And he's been able to do that, which is incredible. Amazing. But it speaks to the power of that mindset that he has.
All right, we're talking with Paul Tenorio, author of The Messi Effect. Paul, I'm just curious, as someone who's written books, the access and how easy or difficult was it to get? And you know, Messi, getting close to Messi, I don't know how close or people you talk to in his camp, but in reporting the book, just talk a bit of the process of the reporting of the book.
Oh, it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It's not even close.
I imagine. No, absolutely. I can appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. No, there is no such thing as getting close to Messi. You know, that just doesn't exist. I felt like I wasn't going to need close access to Messi himself because I wanted this book to be a lot about the sports business side of things, the business of sports and what his influence has been on American soccer. And I felt like I could get close enough to the team that proximity to Messi himself wouldn't be as important. But even the proximity to the team was quite difficult. You know, Inter Miami, they're not the most open team in the world. And I do give a lot of credit to the Moss brothers, who did allow me on the inside in some very critical moments, who took time to sit with me multiple times. That made the process a lot easier, and also to, you know, the many interviews I set up with players and people inside the club over the years that helped me kind of get on the inside from all the times that I was around the team. And I went around the globe with them to Saudi and Hong Kong and Japan. I traveled with them throughout that first year of Messi to every American city they went to. So I was there for everything. But the access was incredibly difficult, and for sure it shaped the way that the narrative played out. I had ideas of what this book would look like when I first started it, and ideas of what it was going to look like based on access. But you know, I do give a lot of credit, especially to Jorge Mas, because I think he saw some of my vision better than maybe others did, and he also was willing to, you know, for example, to let me in. I called him when Miami qualified to get to the knockouts of the Club World Cup. And I said, Jorge, this is the moment. This is everything in the book all coming together in one place in one game. I was covering the Gold Cup. I was with the U.S. team at the time. I said, listen, I'm willing to fly to Atlanta for the night and the day and the night if you let me come down and spend time with you behind the scenes, because this is everything. And he said, you better get on that jet, get on down here. So,
yeah, wow.
You know, you need that to happen for a book like this to work. So I appreciate Jorge's efforts for sure.
Paul, I'm glad you said that about Jorge Mas, because you make it clear once he did get Messi at a high level and went back to the league, and he was burning bridges with some of the owners who are a little comfortable, a little scared. And here's a guy that Jorge Mas got vision. There's a reason he's been so successful, he and Jose. But you got to talk about that a little bit, about jumping in there going, hey, you guys want to be big time. You want to grow this thing. You want it just to keep our reputation the way it is right now. We got to get better player. I loved it. And I think we all learned a lot more about Jorge Mas.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's a disruptor. And here's the thing. He doesn't mind being a disruptor. And that's necessary. You need to have somebody who's willing to be the enemy sometimes, the guy that people get pissed off at in the board meeting. And that's what he has been. He's been the guy that has been willing to push the buttons of the status quo, to challenge the people who have been in charge in Major League Soccer for a long time, whether it's the commissioner, Don Garber, whether it's Clark Hunt and the Hunt family. You know, Jorge came in and said, the way you guys are doing things is no longer the right way. And he's right about that. And I hope I laid that argument out clearly in this book.
Yes.
But you know, he's right about it. And he needed to try to galvanize the faction of owners who believed the same way as he did, that they could create the momentum for change. And Messi was the catalyst, right? Once he signed Messi, Jorge had the room. because the commercial influence and impact that Messi had on Major League Soccer meant that the owners had to listen to what Jorge had to say. They had to let him in on the committee meetings that control the way this league plays out, the product that we see on the field. And I think, the way Jorge was raised, the way his father did the same thing in South Florida politics and eventually into national and international politics, influenced who Jorge is and what his personality is, and the way he's not afraid to kind of shake things up. But yeah, the league really needed a big personality to be able to accomplish this. And he doesn't have it over the line yet, right? The last bit, the most important bit still needs to get done, which is changing the roster rules. But Jorge is still the most important figure in that room, pushing and pushing and pushing for change. And I think it will happen. It didn't happen in time for this World Cup, which is an enormous missed opportunity for Major League Soccer. But I think it will happen. And hopefully once it does, we can start talking about the long-term legacy of Messi that goes and extends well beyond when he's done playing in South Florida.
All right, we're talking with Paul Tenorio, a writer for The Athletic. And yes, his story today about Christian Pulisic in The Athletic, edging toward being the GOAT of U.S. soccer. And you're out with covering the U.S. team right now they play in Santa Clara Wednesday night. And the question that's being asked, at least nationally, does the U.S. have a chance to win this? And I think we're probably a little premature with the question, or do you believe in miracles type? But where are they now in the world stage of soccer?
Yeah, it's a complicated question. I would say that the U.S. is trying to prove that it can get from where it kind of always has been, which is somewhere in the top 16 to 20 teams in the world, and push into that next tier. And that's what this World Cup is all about. That's why they have to beat Bosnia tomorrow night for this not to be an enormous failure, right? To lose in the round of 32 at home would be an enormous failure, no matter how well they played in the first two games of this tournament. And then you're at the round of 16, which is where this U.S. team a lot of the time gets to the World Cup, gets out of the group, and is in the round of 16. This is an expanded format, so this round of 32 is new. And this is where they end up against a team like the Netherlands and Qatar, and they lose. So beating a team like Belgium in Seattle, the most likely opponent's Belgium, in the round of 16, that's critical to showing the progress that U.S. soccer is making. But there's a lot of work still to be done, and that's what I want people to realize. If they go by the Messi Effect, they read the Messi Effect. If you want an understanding of how American soccer has grown to where it is right now, the business of soccer, the fans that are there watching the Premier League and watching Champions League, and where the U.S. national team is, it still needs to grow in order to compete on the global stage. And Major League Soccer plays a big part of that. They have to increase the ceiling here of the professional league in order for the domestic player to be able to develop to that higher ceiling before going to Europe. All of it's linked. I would say I think the U.S. is still somewhere around the 16th, 17th, 18th best country in the world. And so if they win that game, if they win on Wednesday and they win on July 6th in Seattle and go to a quarterfinal, it would be an enormous success, but it should be considered the beginning of something. We shouldn't be talking about it as they've made it. They should be saying, okay, we've shown we can, now let's do something with it. Everyone's got to get a little Jorge Mas in them and say, okay, we got Messi.
Yeah.
Now let's do something with it. Okay, we're in a home World Cup. We pushed deep in the knockouts. What now?
Let me ask you, speaking of the MLS, how do you look at it right now in the growth since Messi's been here for a few years now, and an extension with Inter Miami? Have you seen the growth that you expected? I know you mentioned there's still another step to take.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. I mean, that's the sad part. Is like we've kind of wasted the first 3 years of Messi in MLS. The league has, in a way, stagnated, frankly. There's been a real push to sign a bunch of big name players, which is good and important. The Chicago Fire just yesterday announced Robert Lewandowski. Miami is going to sign Casemiro, who scored last night in the World Cup for Brazil. These big names are coming. That happened in 2015. Okay, I was a reporter at the Orlando Sentinel when Kaká signed in Orlando, and NYCFC signed 3 big stars, and all these Josie Altidore came back to Toronto, and Steven Gerrard was going to the guy. We've seen big names coming to MLS before. The change has to be increasing the overall product, and MLS didn't get its rules changed in time. Now they are flipping the calendar beginning in 2027. That is an enormous step towards Major League Soccer being able to compete better on the global transfer market. The biggest market time is the summer window. MLS hasn't been able to compete in that window. They'll be able to do that, but they can't really compete until they change the roster rules. So if they get those rules changed, and I think they will, but maybe not even for 27, which is insane that I'm saying that now, that it might not happen until 28. But let's say it gets done in 27. We're talking about, by the time Messi leaves MLS, they'll have a new calendar. They'll have a new competition structure, so the schedule will look different. They're going to move to divisions instead of conferences, and they're going to have potentially new roster rules. It will be a totally new league by the time Messi leaves. So his influence has been enormous. We just haven't seen it yet. And I think everyone's kind of been saying, well, you got Messi in your league, make the change now while everyone's watching. You have all these new eyeballs.
That's right.
And MLS just couldn't get it done.
Let me ask you, a team you like the most from what you've seen so far, France or somebody else?
Yeah. No, I mean, France is the best team in this tournament. It's insane the amount of talent they have. You have to expect that they are the favorite in this thing. We'll see a tough game today against Sweden, but I expect them to win. I felt like watching Holland, the Netherlands yesterday. They're one of the only teams I thought could have matched up well physically and the way that they play against France, and then they get knocked out by Morocco. So, for me, France is the big favorite. I've got my dark horse playing tonight, Mexico. I think if Mexico can get through this Ecuador game at home, I think they beat England at the Azteca in the round of 16 and another major upset. But for me, when we talk about winners of this tournament, I think the conversation revolves around France and what they've been able to do. But hey, man, Messi and Argentina are sitting there with a big smile on their face at the path that they have to a final. So we can't count them out.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what, this is gonna be fun. Hey, Paul, how's the book doing so far? I got to tell you, had a great location, man, at the bookstore at the airport. If that's going on everywhere, you got to be in good shape.
Glad to hear that. No, you know what? I haven't asked because I just can't onboard the anxiety right now.
That's very honest right there. I love it.
I appreciate
I'm in the middle of the World
author.
Cup. I'm trying to stay focused on the World Cup. I'm like, I just can't take that on right now. I wouldn't survive it, guys. I wouldn't be able to survive it right now.
Well, I'm glad you listen. I wanted to have you on for fans for Inter Miami and fans down here for the World Cup that might be listening this morning just to hear the book, because I thought it was great, from the inside ownership to the MLS to the workings, and obviously Messi and his. It just got a lot of great stuff in the book about Messi for a guy, as you said, and we know firsthand, is very, very private. There's no question about it. Paul, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate all the kind words. Thank you for having me on to talk about the book. And I hope you guys, hopefully I can come back and chat more World Cup and more Messi with you guys down the road.
Sounds good. Paul, thank you so much.
Thanks,
I
Paul.
appreciate it, buddy. Paul Tenorio
Thanks, guys.
joining us this morning to talk a little bit about World Cup and Inter Miami. And so you worry about that stuff too with the book? Is that always?
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. You're
hey, we sold 10. We sold 10 books so far.
You're up to number 3 in sports on Amazon. You look at stuff like that. They
do?
They listen. It's
man.
like a live count out there.
Dave, that would just suck, man. Oh my God, that's terrible. All right, we got to go to break here. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back after this.
Let's go. Time up. We can
being with us, as we always appreciate you being with us, and Paul joining us this morning, talk a little bit about the Messi stuff, and we have a chance to get into a lot of the other stuff. One of the things that was really cool was one guy that's got a good relationship with Messi, and Messi can go to him, and Messi does. Messi might be the most powerful guy. We always talk about LeBron having a lot of say-so, and certain guys that have in sports that can call a lot of shots while they're playing. Nobody is able to call more shots than Messi.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it's his team, really. I mean, he's in a co-partnership with Jorge Mas, and
I think Jorge goes to him and says, "All right, why do you like this guy or not like this guy, and why do you want this guy? Oh my God, this guy was one of my first coaches in Barcelona. He's great. This is why he'll be great for the guys. All right, keep him happy."
And then he doesn't like a coach.
So you're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's had 6 different coaches since he's been here.
Has it been 6?
No, it's in the book, man. It is part of that is in the book. We have a chance to get into everything, but it was pretty interesting because people do want to know, like, man, the guy just doesn't talk. Like we went through this just recently. The media, Michelle said, I never talked to him.
Yeah, no. And Paul Tenorio, the author of the book, got close with a lot of people for the book, but he couldn't crack Messi. Messi doesn't let people in.
You know who else didn't let people in? LeBron didn't let people in here.
Well, but LeBron would talk every day.
He would talk every day.
LeBron was the greatest superstar I've covered in that. I mean, Wade too. Wade was a great interview. So, but I think nationally you'd agree that LeBron was, I don't know. I'm not rating them, but LeBron.
Nothing's close to Messi. Messi's, he's bigger than, he's so big. I'm sure this deal was all known before he got here. They just wanted the guy that played. They wanted the guy that's one of the greatest, if not the greatest player of all time to come here, play like it, lead. They must have known about it. They did background check.
It's the Greta Garbo act where he says nothing and lets his play speak for everything for him.
This goes back to the topic that is now done about the fans enjoying watch him play. You can't worry, Dave. I'm sorry, you cannot worry. And I know this is different, and Barcelona is going to stuff their stadium no matter who's there every night, and PSG is going to get, everybody's going to show up, but he's not going to pay attention to you, man. Especially if you piss him off. He's going to play, and whatever he does, just enjoy his greatness.
Well, don't nitpick. That's the thing. There was only 2 games. They didn't win the games. And evidently, his history, if we don't win, he's upset and he's not thinking, let me wave to the fans. So
that's part of greatness, too, by the way. Guys that take – you've been around some of those guys. When they lose, it's not just another game, oh, well. We had some guys that take losses down here really hard. He's one of those guys.
But I will say this, that I thought when MLS is not just Messi, but when MLS is bringing over stars, part of the Americanization of soccer, of international soccer, would be they talk once in a while. I mean, you need to get on Sports Center. You need to have local stories written about you that fans read. Look how sports is a conversation in America. Look, we're on a talk show, but sports is a conversation of this player said this. You get to know this personality. Oh, I really like what that guy said. I like what that team's doing. There's not really a lot of that of Messi and Inter Miami because they don't talk. They won a championship last year, and only the coach talked after the game. That's just weird.
Yeah,
that's somebody
weird.
who writes columns for
that.
a living. I want that mix of opinions and talks and personalities.
Well, that's the only sport here in this country that's like that.
Because they're used to it. That's how it is in Europe. They don't talk in Europe. They never talk.
I didn't know
rarely
that.
talk.
I didn't know that till we got into this thing and talking about that they're left alone and all those things. But I know part of this thing with Messi was you play on big teams, you're a rock star.
Yes.
And here he got a little bit more of a normal life.
Yeah. Well, remember, all they have in Europe is soccer, really. Think about it. That's the major sport.
Yes. Well, it is in the 2 places he's been recently, 2 of the best teams in the world, have been. Barcelona's maybe
I mean,
dropped off.
I know they have basketball, but it's not anything like soccer. Over there. So, but that was fun talking to him. I thought it was a very interesting.
Yeah,
interview.
man. No, it was good, and see what's going to happen with the USA. But he was very honest about they dropped the ball on advancing this league. But what you read the book, it wasn't lack of trying from Jorge Mas. He said, "Man, I'm getting more guys. Just sign off. Let's go."
You know, that's interesting. It was an interesting conversation at that point because I always look at it. Boy, Messi's really succeeding. MLS is succeeding, and he's saying you're not taking advantage of it nearly enough.
They're not jumping up to where Jorge Mas wants to see him up there with some of the other leagues, and they're not. And by the way, you're one of the first guys to say, "Hey, where do you rank the MLS right now in leagues around the country, around the world?"
Oh, they're not. I mean,
there's a lot of leagues.
Premier League, La Liga.
Yeah, no,
you know, go down the list. The Bundesliga. They're a minor league, but they're a lot. They're getting to be bigger now. The question is, will they ever be as big as some of the other leagues? You know, no, because they can't compete with the NFL.
Bigger than the two leagues you just mentioned.
No, I agree.
Especially clubs with some of like.
But we can get swept up in World Cup fever and say they can't.
That's true.
Joe, I was impressed. You put the question out there: is any team going to beat France? You know, you're right in the middle of the World Cup debate when I didn't even know France was. I knew France and Spain going into it were the favorites, but you clearly put France above everybody now.
Well, Mbappe to start with is very good. You know that name stuff. He's got a really interesting thing. They really disliked him in France when he left. Left the best club
for Real Madrid.
Yeah. So you knew that. So he left. So we're over there on vacation. Those taxi guys and Uber guys are killing him. Killing him in English. And about he was a bum. So he leaves and they win the whole thing. They win the club championship. They won that thing. The World Cup Club Championship, they won. Without him.
The Champions League.
League. He goes to Real Madrid. I don't think that thing's been great for him. Real Madrid's also one of the best teams in the world, as you know, and we went over there to see firsthand. We were playing football over there with in that stadium. Huge stadium. Huge stadium. But, yeah, man. So it'll be fun to watch and see how the United States does. There's a little pressure, right? A little pressure to see where we are.
There should be pressure to win. I mean, this is they should beat Bosnia tomorrow night.
I don't know what the media is like in Germany, but Germany getting knocked out already as one of the best teams in the world yesterday in that little shootout penalty kick there.
It was great to see the celebration in Paraguay. It'd be interesting to see, as you said, you know, Germany. All these teams now, we got to go back and find our identity.
I just kept thinking about the guy that friggin' missed everything. I mean, he missed everything. He shot it over the top. It wouldn't even been, if there would have been a field goal post up above it, he still.
That's what I don't like it coming down to the shootout. Then it's one-on-one.
He didn't look real confident either. My man just kind of went up there and kicked it. It looked like you and I trying to go up there. He didn't stutter it and go around it. And some of those guys got a little thing they do to kind of get you go one way or the other a little bit early and stutter step. He just went up and kicked it, and it just took off.
Well, they're down to the sixth guy kicking on a team.
Yeah, but
some
still,
of those guys probably haven't.
They kick every day. I mean, you play with your feet. Come on. Should be better than that.
But you haven't been put in that situation.
I get
probably,
it, but
it's like free throws in basketball. At the end of practice every day,
everybody shoots free throws, right? Yeah, I'm not giving a hall pass. I just
it is.
If you're one of the guys that missed those kicks at the end, you're
that'll stick with. That's the Scott Norwood of Germany right now.
Nobody's going to talk about the missed opportunities early. Only remember, as you know, most fans just remember what happened at the end of the game. They don't want to hear about what could have happened earlier and this guy would have, finished up or anything else. Anyway, hey man, we've got a lot of stuff set up for tomorrow too, and we'll get into a little bit of Dolphin stuff. Which, hey, listen, man, there's just not much except trying to create right now this what's going to happen with the Dolphins, who first, I'll tell you, you had to clean up a mess. You had to make some tough financial decisions that everybody's heard. So you can't just automatically think after getting rid of and losing more than half your cap money, it's dead. It's called dead cap money. Whoever you want to blame, it's gone. It's gone. So we got to move on without it. It's not coming back, David.
It's going to be a rough season.
Why would Omar come out and say if a couple of guys play well, we're going to win 10 games?
Well, maybe so you would repeat it a few days later. And
that's
say,
why he's so good.
That's why he's good.
That's why Omar's so good.
Your button there, right? But there's no way 10 games. Come on. 5 games would be a good season. 5 wins.
5 wins.
But even more than wins and losses.
5 wins would get you a top 3 or 4 pick in the draft.
Even more, it's okay. What will you think of Malik Willis at the end of this year?
Oh, there you go.
What do you think of the top 3 picks? And as importantly, the top 3 picks from last year. You know, those are the questions. And who did they find off the scrap heap? Who is there like Otto Lopez? The Marlins got for nothing. Now he leads the league.
Who's going to have the breakthrough?
Right.
Which of the draft picks plays really well early? What a second draft from 2 years ago? You're right. How do those defensive linemen? What kind of development do they have?
Savai Naya let up 40 quarterback pressures last year. 40. Can he get it down? Can he cut it in half? Is that seems like a realistic bar for him to set? His 40 is just out of, you can't do that. 20, you're getting okay to a workable guard.
He's going to get every chance possible. Off last year, wasn't these guys? These guys didn't draft him, but he's going to get every chance, every opportunity possible to be the right guard. I just think it's funny they moved him back to the other side.
Back to his,
and Slowick's got to be behind it, the offensive coordinator who was here last year.
Well, and the other part I think is their draft pick coming in and playing. I assume maybe they wanted him on the left side.
A lot of people just said move him. Hey, get him ready to go at tackle right now. But I like
I
what
was
they're
one
doing.
of those saying to get him ready to play. He's a tackle. You drafted a tackle, but whatever.
If you're playing your best 5 guys, Austin Jackson needs to play right tackle.
Okay, I'm not.
Don't worry. In time, he's got to have to.
Enough guys have played guard their rookie years that it's not a big deal.
I'll tell you another one. Don't worry about the first round pick. The first round pick, do not worry about. He's going to be really, really good. That's not going to be a problem. Hey, we got more for tomorrow. Don't say it's. I want you to hold on to some of your good stuff. Dave Hyde's with us rest of the week. All day, Dan Day. Thank you so much, brother. Really appreciate it. We want to put a little music in there going out so people think we. Oh, sounds so good. There it is, man. There's that sound that says, I'm done for the day. Wait a sec. Some of that sound is maybe you need to go play a little tennis.
You got a tennis game, Joe?
Man, you got to have a tennis game every day till you're just soaking wet and
How's
puking.
Your knees going to survive all these tennis?
It's clay, David. The clay's a lot easier on the body. Have a great day, everybody.
WQAM broadcasting live from the Ed Moore Sawgrass Auto Mall Studios.